The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies.
Tape never lies.
Starts now.
The tape never lies.
What's up, everybody? This is NFL Network's Adam Ray.
This is Only Crooch.
This is Matt Waldman.
This is Chris Zorich from your Chicago Bears.
I'm Deion Miller.
Dan Weeder.
Hey, my name's Rashad Whitfield.
I'm Courtney Cronin.
Hey, this is David Kaplan. Listen to me. You want to learn football? Listen to my guys, Phil and Shane.
Shane and Phil.
Shane and
Phil.
Oh, Phil.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
You know what it is, though? Like I was saying before, and I believe this in any walk of life, no matter what you're doing, whatever the career industry is, if you're passionate about what you do, success ultimately ends up finding you, right? If you're really passionate about why you're waking up every day and what you're putting your time and effort into, things like what you guys have been able to build with this network happen. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, but fans, especially in the sports media world, fans are drawn to that passion. That's why sometimes, and I had a little, had it out with some Bears beat writers this week on Twitter, but sometimes the guys that are at House Hall or covering the team on a daily basis lose that connection to the fan because they don't have that same passion for what they're doing. What you guys are doing, what I try to do every day, the foundation of it all is a passion for the team. You hear it by putting these songs together, the videos you guys do, all the cool edits and things that you guys are, that takes, people have to realize that takes a lot of time, right? I mean, you might hop into a YouTube show and it's there and it's all these cool graphics and sound bites and clips and so on. That takes a lot of time behind the scenes to do, and to do that every day, to keep up that effort. It's all about that passion, man. So I'm not surprised you guys are where you are, and I won't be surprised with how much further you take it, because your passion isn't going to burn out, right? And Bears fans' passions aren't going to burn out. And when that marries up, you end up having a successful product.
Collaborate this. The Tape Never Lies Network coverage of the NFL Draft starts now.
Give me some fucking names.
Draft day, round one, the pick is in. Intangibles, hard hits, slinging pigskin. Chicago on the clock, pose on the chopping block. Pick smart, you maximize on your draft slot. Draft day, round one, the pick is in. Intangibles, hard hits, slinging pigskin. Chicago on the clock, pose on the chopping block. Pick smart, maximize on your draft slot.
The tape never lies. Realize potential ain't the way to go. Always draft football guys. The game is one up front. Rebuild the lines. We trading up for a QB. Throwing down the best analysis out there, and there's no debating. Nerves on this collab crew. Collaborating simple. Take the guy that takes his freaking head off. TTNL with the coverage. Ryan Pace got his get off.
The blog boys ride the nuts and study the swag. Flag route or the drag, we get to the bag. Left tackle or the slot, show me what you got. We need a guard and a cornerback with draft stock. Cream of the crop, last season was a flop. Protect Justin Fields in a 3-step drop. In the pocket, hits keep him ready for the sport. Eberflus told him get your track shoes if you want to run the north. Draft day, round one, the pick is in. Intangibles, hard hits, slinging pigskin. Chicago on the clock, pose on the chopping block. Pick smart, you maximize on your draft slot. Draft day, round one, the pick is in. Intangibles, hard hits, slinging pigskin. Chicago on the clock, pose on the chopping block. Pick smart, maximize on your draft slot.
Don't be bullshitting anybody. I'm telling you right now, you can't. Because it's going to show right up in that film. Tape never lies.
Made that catch with big old hand. Adam Schefter reporting quarterbacks still on the board. It's time for one to be traded up for.
Here we go.
Chicago's trading up.
Yes!
What?
Oh my
Here
God.
it is!
Schefter just reported.
Here it
Oh,
is!
baby.
Let's go, man!
Oh.
Here we go, baby!
It's
So we will
official. Chicago Bears select quarterback Justin Fields. Put that on your mother.
Oh, the good old days when we had a first round pick. What's up, everybody? It's Christmas Day for everybody else in the NFL. We are just here.
We're still at Christmas Eve, but it's all good.
Is it? I thought it was Christmas. We're in Christmas. I got it.
Yeah, we're in Christmas Eve. Everybody else is in Christmas.
Fa ra 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 ra. Go Bears! I haven't said that in a long time. Go Bears!
But right out the gate, though, Phil, Albert Breer.
Uh-oh, my boy Albert Breer
is reporting that the possible top 4 could go like this.
Oh, he's spoiler alert.
Number 1, Trayvon Walker. Number 2, Aiden Hutchinson. Number 3, Derek Stingley. Somebody heard that here on this network before. Number 4, New York Jets, Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner. Well, they got a defensive-minded head coach with the Jets, coach. No.
Couldn't do it.
Sauce Gardner, to me, is one of the hot-button worries for me.
Yeah.
And
I'm right there with you.
that arrogant. There is a place
Did
for
you
it.
see his? Oh, well, especially at that position, you have to have short-term memory. But did you see his barbecue sauce bling that he's wearing around on his chain?
I did not. Yeah. I did see our boy Jalen Williams. He's wearing some freaking gold fronts. He's got a
Jameson.
I always do that shit.
Man, I'm worried there, bro. There is a ton of smoke. Saying that Philadelphia is on the move, heading up.
For who? Jane?
For Jameson Williams.
Oh boy. What's up, TTNL? The Crewbies.
Right out the gate, Facebook user.
What up?
Head over to StreamYard.com
to correct
Facebook.
that guy. Right. Where is he? Put that lower banner, Alan. There's a banner in the banners that'll tell people StreamYard.com / or from. I can't ever get it right. Look at this guy.
StreamYard. That wasn't even Bratcher. Don't let him take credit for that. He's back there picking his nose.
I was going to say,
this like, I miss Fat Mike. I miss Fat Mike. These guys got too many viewers.
Merry Christmas, motherfuckers! Here we go. If you love the draft the way TTNL does, the Chicago Bears right now, they're in the war room. Ryan Poles is watching this show, and he's probably like, I feel these dudes. They get it. And I appreciate what Brian Perez was saying, the passion that we have for this football team and all of you fans of this network, the Crewbies. We got to get the T-shirt. Where's the sweat? Where's Stunna? Where's Stunna? Is he coming on tonight? We got to get those T-shirts. You got Ice Cube. You got the Raiders out there. Derek Carr trying to hype up the crowd in Vegas, but the 49er fans are still. I'm probably behind everybody in the streaming version of this, but we are going to keep.
We can't share any of the broadcast stream. Is that how that works? It's just got to be a certain size. Because one of my favorite parts of the draft is when he says the 2022 draft is now officially open.
It is official right
Is
now.
it? Okay, yeah. And the
Jacksonville
Jaguars are
on the clock. And this is it, guys. Listen, football is 365 days. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. Those of you ladies just learning the game through your significant others, or men learning the game. Shane, we've learned this. There are some men learning the game from their significant other. This network's here to teach, to have fun, and to continuously.
The quarterback coach in Kansas City is still learning the game.
He could have. Ryan Pace's patron membership is still active. So maybe he's going to steal some shit from us tonight with the Falcons. We gave him a Fetty, right? So everybody's on the clock.
But hey, real quick, Phil, just let me kick it off by saying, I know there's going to be a ton of people in the chat. It's going to pick up as we go. Tomorrow night's even going to be more insane. But as we get info as it comes in, even when it's not on TV, we are going to break it here. So that's the way. When we get info, we are going to be in a very giving mood and share it as well. It's the Christmas season, as we said. So we're not going to.
We're going to keep it 100 on these picks. Jacksonville here. To me, you're taking a guy right here that Breer is talking about. This guy was ranked way back. And then you worry about those guys that jump so high where you had them before. With Walker. So Shane,
I think it is official here. Aaron Wilson has been told that he can't tip picks, but they have a certain way that they can work the system, and this is what he just tweeted out. Georgia pass rusher Trayvon Walker has a ton of upside, so he would make a lot of sense for the Jaguars with this pick.
If it was
work
me,
the system.
I'm going Hutchinson if I was Jacksonville. Consistency.
Could you be talking to the offensive line?
Yes.
There's some worried about Ekwonu's medical. Evan Neal, not flashy, is just Mr. Consistency.
That's why he was my first pick.
Yeah.
Or second pick.
I would go there even over Hutchinson if it was me. I mean, you gotta protect your number one investment. If Trevor Lawrence does not work out, and then listen, you're screwed anyway.
Yeah. I don't think you get out of a jam if Trevor Lawrence busts. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before. Tim Couch, first overall quarterbacks, David Klingler, all of these guys come with their risk. The Giants didn't exercise the 5th year on Daniel Jones. What does that mean? Is this a prove it year for him? All of that stuff is going on. The Giants fans are DMing me and talking shit. Like, thank you for this pick tonight. I go, thank you for the best quarterback in the draft this year. I appreciate it. That's really what it was. If you're just tuning in tonight and you missed Keeping It 100 with Brian Perez last night, I'm just letting you know right now, we have some TTNL. Should I break it? Yeah, we still got time.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
TTNL Network continues to grow. We're super excited about announcing that tonight's guest, our first guest tonight of our first round coverage, day 5 of TTNL draft coverage. Here we have added former Bears quarterback Erik Kramer to the Tape Never Lies Network family. Erik and I will be breaking down offense and Justin Fields in Kramer's QB school on TTNL. That'll be on our patron side. Go to www.thetapeneverlies.com. It is going to be a QB school, and you'll find out all the details of when that's going to be. and when it kicks off in the preseason, taking a look at the quarterbacks of the Chicago Bears as well as the offense. So we are super excited. We also are super excited about just the fact that Erik, who obviously was one of the best quarterbacks I've seen don the Chicago Bears navy, orange, and white. And if you weren't alive, 1995.
Now official.
It is in.
Yes. The number one overall pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars is Travon Walker.
There you go. There you go. Travon Walker is officially.
And he will not be wearing that chain during games because that would be highly illegal.
You have every right, Jackal, as the producer, because Alan's going to be doing chat and banner. You can do this every time. Even if I'm talking in the middle of the best statement ever. Anyway, Erik Kramer coming to TTNL. We are going to be breaking down the tape. We are also excited to announce another new show. On top of X's and O's, we're going to have a master's class with Coach Atoshin and the whiteboard. That's going to be a part of it. We're also announcing keys with Shane and Cars. That is going to be looking at the next week's opponent, and they're going to be breaking down and getting you prepared. All of this coming on the patron side. And each and every week, I can't express enough, the details of what it is that we do, that we want to make sure that the Chicago Bears, the TTNL, the Crewbies are the most well-informed fans, fanatics in the league. And they have the understanding of what is going on and what isn't. And with Matt Nagy, there was so much negativity. It was hard to watch, but the belief here is that Erik Kramer, my father, Cars, myself, Berlissimo, and Shane, and every analyst we bring that is going to break down this football team is going to be happy with what they see. They did not select Aiden Hutchinson. They selected
Travon Walker goes number one.
Bratcher is messing up his first job. Look at that.
He's dropping the ball back to
that said. Let's bring out our first guest here on Draft Night. He is in Vegas, and he is a part of this network, but we bring him out. And you millennials, you young bucks, pay close attention to who's under center and what he's doing when you watch this intro.
As fans of the Chicago Bears, we know all too well the struggles this franchise has had at the QB position for, 102 years. This guy was a bright spot and made a mark as the Bears franchise leader in most passing yards in a single season, most pass attempts in a game, and most passing TDs in a season. That 1995 season was a lot of fun on offense. The defense, not so much. Bears fans, it is our honor to bring to you a former QB of your Chicago Bears, but most importantly, a guy that is willing to share real-life struggles with you in this open forum. Please stand up and let's give him a proper TTNL welcome the only way we know how. He's Erik Kramer.
There he is. What was your audible check at the line of scrimmage? What was it?
Oh no. Here they come. Here's a good one. So when I was in college, there's the only time I've ever heard anybody like during a play say something. and we were playing Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, in my junior year at NC State. And Bill Leach was left tackle, and we were playing against a guy named Tony Woods, who I think was a first-round pick of somebody. And during the play, I heard Bill go, "Get rid of it!" So maybe that play we should have called an audible.
Did you ever have that moment where you were like, "Oh fuck," and you just let it go? You let it rip.
Oh yeah. That's many times. There's another friend of mine, Brock Miller, played also at NC State. He goes, I don't know. They were saying that you didn't see him. He goes, I don't know how you didn't see the guy that picked the ball if you hit him right in the chest.
Hey, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, Eric. I'm just going to break the picks as we get the info. And the pick at number 2 is not officially in, but they have made their pick, and it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson heading
there
to
you
Detroit.
Go. That's a good pick.
From
I don't want to say that's a big mistake because it's everybody's like, okay, sure, he went to Michigan. Why wouldn't he go to Detroit? What I want to see is by now, two teams have missed. Ike Ekwonu from NC State, the left tackle, that dude's a can't miss. Like
there's some
for a long time.
NC State bias here? Is there an NC
I'm just saying, if you drafted Trevor Lawrence last year, number 1 overall, wouldn't you? The next best guy is your left tackle.
Yep. There's been some concern, and I had on Sirius Radio. There's been some late breaking news on him that there's some concern about his medicals.
All right.
Well, today. So, but
just today, like they've been sitting on this the whole time. Yeah, we're not going to hear that for a day or so.
Yeah.
Jackal was very late on that one, but yes. Listen, we're excited to announce. Obviously, we broke the news last night. Tonight of the draft,
we got our first round draft pick.
We got our first round.
Very good, very good.
Our quarterback again. I always go back. I wish Cars would ever show up for you.
Here we go.
He never shows up for you, but he can attest.
I can even fly across the country to Chicago, and he still won't show up on his doorstep, and he'll be missing.
We're going to make this happen, though. All of us are going to get together. I'll try to golf while you and Cars and Shane could probably golf. I don't know if Shane could golf, but
we'll find out. I mean, I remember as a kid launching a few golf balls down the street just in case. Sure. And I'm sure I took out a car or a house or a window or something, but you don't know until you go.
Well, we're excited because I've never felt a sense of security at the quarterback position like I did when it was you at quarterback. And that's not blowing smoke. I've said it many times on the show. I'll never forget that season in '95 with you, Curtis Conway, Jeff Graham, Big Keith Jennings, rumbling, bumbling, and
Jughead, otherwise affectionately known as. That's the biggest head I've ever seen. Bigger than the Kool-Aid guy.
Really? Keith Jennings had a big head, huh?
I remember we played it.
Tony Medlin's special helmet.
I don't know. They must have sawn 2 together, like cut 1 in half and then put 1 together with it.
Wow. The biggest head I've ever seen was this dude at Hofstra. He was actually he's Chinese raised.
Okay.
And he was an offensive tackle, and they had to order a special helmet made in China we made that joke. Of course it was made in China. We make that joke with him. He was a star captain. Great. I can't remember his damn name, but he had, and then
you've seen those plyo balls, right? The big balls that people will work out with and stuff.
Yes.
So there was a green colored one that sat in the Bears training room, right?
Yep.
And somebody had taken a black marker, and so Keith has sort of these naturally watering eyes all the time. So he's always, doing this.
Oh yeah. So
somebody drew like what would be Keith Jennings' face with the little teardrop on that big plyo ball.
That's awesome.
That thing was enormous.
I still remember Keith Jennings' last point about Keith throwing a touchdown pass against the Dolphins on a fake field goal to Curtis Conway. Do you remember that play, Shane?
Okay. I don't, but okay, cool.
Somebody just put that up on Twitter like
Did
3
they?
or 4 days ago. Yeah.
Come on.
Yes, they did.
You're going to hear that every time there's a pick. What do we got here? We got Houston.
The Houston Texans, and this was told on this network a few days ago.
Oh, it's official.
Have
Shane
selected
breaking
cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. So Lovey gets his maybe Peanut Tillman. I wouldn't have went there, but
wow. Even
just
Lovey's passing North Carolina State tackle.
There comes the big shakeup. That's the first shakeup right there.
Yeah, just like
now the dominoes will start. Who knows where
there's
they're going to go?
expected to be another corner selected. The hot rumor going out, according to Albert
Breer is on the
Sauce
money.
Gardner's
right now.
going number 4 to the Jets, and I said, to go to Eric's point, these teams are. I mean, Davis Mills played better than a lot of people thought he did, and you're not going to give him an offensive lineman.
I call Davis Mills.
Yeah, you got the kid
So
in
did
New
this
York.
network.
The kid in New York that you drafted last year, you're not going to give him one. The Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall. These guys are all going
If the
defense.
Jets pass a goddamn tackle here, Evan Neal or Aquano, they are just lost in the sauce.
Well, I guess, but then, if you look at it, I mean, some sturdyish, fast receiver is going to be sitting there at number 39.
That's
right?
what we're
For
hoping,
the
right?
Bears.
Coach Kramer. That's what we're hoping for. So you're pulling for the Bears to pick a receiver here. When you're looking at it from your perspective, you're looking at receiver for Chicago at 39.
Yeah, well, here's the great thing. So the Bears got their quarterback last year, right?
Exactly.
And so
Thank
they're
God.
in the it's a shallow quarterback pool to begin with. What's deep is receiver. So if you believe in Fields, which everybody does, rightfully so, you know, they've got needs kind of everywhere, especially receiver, because you got Darnell Mooney, and you just lost Allen. Great for the Rams, but I think, you know, if you're going to build this offense, which it looks like they're going to, around Justin Fields, that seems the logical guy. And I hope it works out.
You're tuning in just now. We're here with quarterback from the Chicago Bears, Erik Kramer. He is now a part of the TTNL Network. We're going to be calling his show Kramer's QB School. Or is it QB School? No, I like Kramer's QB School, right? That's what you wanted.
Sure.
That's what you're going to be.
He can name it whatever he wants.
You name it. He's a first round.
Whatever I
Eric,
want.
Eric texted me
Why
earlier.
couldn't contract negotiations work like this? Whatever you want.
Eric texted me earlier and said, "Can I call my show Cars is a Pussy?" And I'm like, "Hey, if you want to go with that, do
No doubt. I'm excited though to be working with you. I'm super proud, and I said it to your face. I'll say it to the audience. You know, I grew up pretending I was Kramer because when I played football within the neighborhood and I was a fan, obviously, of the Bears, I would injure everybody. So they made me all times quarterback. So the short guy wasn't trying to be Doug Flutie. I was like, my guy, Erik Kramer. I would always yell your name after every throw. And now we're here working together and really breaking down the Chicago Bears in a way that I feel so excited to do, where we're looking, if you aren't a patron, you would have missed Erik breaking down last year, watching Cole Kmet and really just showing you the finite details that were lacking in Matt Nagy's offensive philosophy and teachings. Talk about that real quick versus what you believe Luke Getsy's going to be bringing.
Well, so go back for a second. So I do remember that play. So and cover 2 is a kind of a popular coverage, cover 2 zone. So you got 2 guys deep, you got 5 underneath, and the soft zones, so to speak, are both outside and then 1 down the middle. So what you'd like to do is whoever is going down the middle, you want to keep that guy running a little wide, and then have the quarterback kind of help the safety by looking out as you're throwing him back toward the middle. What I saw in that film is Cole Kmet started running down the middle.
Right.
Like he's inviting or being coached to invite his own headache.
Exactly.
And so those are just seemingly obvious, especially at that level, things to coach. And we obviously saw some other things during that time where you've got, who I think Roquan Smith is one of the best linebackers in the NFL. I mean, the guy is the most tenacious tackler I think I've ever seen. But yet, here's him along with a 3-technique defensive tackle. The defensive tackle slips to the inside. Well, that's not his gap. And Roquan Smith runs through the same gap. And then how the running back goes untouched for 15 yards is right there. So what are you coaching if you're not coaching a sound gap scheme on defense? That's youth football.
Exactly.
Now, official at number 4, Sauce Gardner.
Are you kidding me?
Lost
in the sauce.
Defensive players.
Was I right or was I right? Are you kidding me?
It's the first time since 92. 4 consecutive defensive players to start off the draft.
Jesus.
This is hey, push these offensive weapons down for tomorrow night. Keep it up.
The other thing I would say that the Bears could really utilize is I am absolutely in love with David Montgomery, because not only is he physically just such a good runner, but the guy mentally finishes off everything. I don't care if you're up by 100 or down by 100. He's got one way to play. And I think somebody that could complement, because to me, he's even gone above and beyond, I think, at least what I thought he was coming out. And I didn't know who he was coming out of college. But he did not have the tag coming in as a great pass receiver. But he showed that he's got that ability. But that's not a guy. He will grind himself into dust with more than 25, 30 touches a game. So you got to have a guy in there for, another 15 to 18 himself. Think of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Yep.
I mean, that might be the best running back tandem in football. Right. So it's hard to get through a 17-game season. That's just the regular season now with one guy. Nobody does that. And so I think that's another big need.
I'm glad
Maybe
you
not
see
at the
what
top
I see
of the draft, but for sure somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm glad you see what I see. I like how you set that deck. That's how you set the deck, because you recognize the beating that probably David's going to be involved in. That's just his style. But at the same time, appreciating the talent, the elite talent. I've scouted a lot of backs, and he was, Erik, my number 1 running back coming out of that draft over the kid from Alabama.
I still remember when I got the pick early and I texted you. I'm like, we got Demo, and he's like, you're full of shit. Knock it off.
I was just so excited because.
But hey, man, this town, right? They're known for their running backs. Start with Payton and even before him. But I mean,
the quarterbacks, though, I tell you, those fucking.
Hey, let's for 1 second now. Let's go back to another guy. What I mentioned is Walter Payton. You could imagine early on people thinking, hey, he's going to grind himself into dust.
Exactly. That was my argument last night, bro.
Dave Montgomery might, he might have a nice 8-10 year run here at this thing, but still,
no one works harder,
right?
No,
and
no
so
one works
to
harder.
me, that's that. If you could do nothing else, the best Ryan Poles, I think, with Eberflus could do is draft a culture of that mentality. Like, because you got Roquan Smith plays with
That's
it.
why you're on this fucking network.
You know, you've got a good nucleus of players that are already there. You don't want anything less than that. Now that I'm coaching high school football, and I've coached youth football before, and actually coached high school 3 or 4 times, but as I'm thinking about it now, I would take, Barry Sanders doesn't come along very often, right?
Right.
So if I'm building a team, I want the team of the go-getters.
Yep.
We'll teach you what we want you to do. You come with the attitude that there's nobody in the world that's going to outwork you. We'll take that. Not only in the off season, but during the season, and more importantly, during the game.
I agree with you 100%. And I jokingly said, but that's really why I believe you fit in exactly with this network. You cut through the shit and you speak the football facts and truths. Now, you probably won't hear Erik swear like me. So families, and we won't swear on that show, but it'll be a showcase of what it is that you bring to the table. And we're excited about it. And you breaking down this team, you've already told me you have some takes about the Chicago Bears in this draft tonight, and you came prepared. And that's what you got to do on this network, or Shane, myself will call you out onto the fray, and you get it. And really, ultimately, I think you said it really well. We're going to see a more fundamentally coached offense just in what we saw last year versus what your expectations are for Justin Fields this year. And it starts, quite frankly, with the running game and the importance of that. And I think you're seeing Ryan Poles and Eberflus talk everything you want to hear from them, that you want to hear with them going forward. We had Brian Perez on last night, and he said it as well. There's a time we want to hear coach speak. I didn't hear coach speak. I heard a lot of excuses and self-discovery. I felt like I was on a retreat trying to with a bunch of yogis that are trying to coach football. I want to see everything. So I am so excited for you to be a part of this. The calm. I was asking I asked your teammate, Chris Zorich, I go, did Erik ever get like disheveled or fired up? He's like, I'm trying to think of a time he did, because you just have that flat line.
I will tell you this. I almost got myself in trouble one halftime, and our offense had gotten called out by a defensive lineman. I won't name him, and it wasn't Chris Zorich.
Real quick, guys. But the pick is in for the Giants. And I believe it's a little bit of a shocker. I thought that they were 100% going offensive tackle. Kayvon Thibodeau is now.
They went the pass rusher.
Yes. Here's now quick take on Kayvon Thibodeau. He may be a great player at some point, or here's what I saw out of him in high school, because he went to Oaks Christian, which was not far from my house.
Yep.
And went to go see him play one day. And he was one of the most highly recruited, or maybe the most highly recruited defensive lineman, or the defensive end, right?
Yep.
And when I watched him play, he had a hard time deciding whether he was going to get out of his stance or not.
Yep.
I've never seen him play in college, but I go, if that's the guy that people are talking about, we'll double team his ass off the field. He won't even get out of a stance. He didn't want to finish a tackle. Or when he felt like it, he would. But that game, he really didn't. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the knock on him or not. But if it is, that makes sense, because it's been that way now for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of worries about him. And listen, today's day and age, guys are going to have lots of things to do off the field, and maybe football isn't their number one. And if you're at this level, that's going to be obviously a red flag. But Thibodeau, when he was choosing where he was going from high school to college, said that he chose Oregon because they're represented by Phil Knight and Nike.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be part of the best business in the world. And I mean, so you can imagine the logistics of a 17, 18-year-old kid making his college decisions. Hey, if that was the truth, sometimes it's better just not to share that publicly. But that's
but
who
you
he
don't
is.
have to share that publicly.
Yeah.
You can see that watching him play.
Exactly.
That goes to my point about that. That is the 180-degree opposite of David Montgomery attitude.
Yep.
Thank you. And I don't
so
like
you can
this.
fill all other 31 teams with that guy. I don't care.
Exactly. I'm not a fan of this pick. I just texted some of my Giants buddies who were talking shit about the pick they got from us. And
that's
me and my father were talking about
that's not that's at 7 is the pick from us.
Oh, sorry. The Giants. All right. They were talking shit. So we'll see what they get with 7. But this pick, to your point, Erik, you got to draft football guys that love the fucking game. If you're in this situation where you're that high and you want a pass rusher, you are taking the wrong animal there. And those types of guys, we see them, immense talent. God gave them everything, but they don't have it in here. And if you don't have it in there, that makes your life as a quarterback a lot easier too. Because
listen, I get the Giants' infatuation with can't be blocked pass rushers. They probably had the best of all time with Lawrence Taylor.
Absolutely.
That's not Kayvon Thibodeau.
No. Nope.
So if they were thinking they were getting the second Lawrence Taylor, they did not.
I don't know if you remember Deion Jordan from a draft, a handful of, probably a little more than that. He was
probably not surprisingly. No, I don't.
Yeah, he was from Oregon also, and he was one of these lanky edges, little thin, looked like a basketball player.
Yeah, looked like a small forward. Just
looked the part. Looked great in those sweet Oregon uniforms, but we need you to play, bro. But I think we have a real interesting pick coming up here with Carolina. I mean, they can really they're going to have their pick of offensive tackles. Pat Kerwin from Sirius NFL Radio is reporting he thinks they're going Pickett.
Well, really? My personal feeling is I think they'll go Pickett too, but I don't think they'll take him here.
Really?
Oh, you think they're going to be?
My thought is that because they only have their next pick's not until 140 something.
Right. So they're going to be. So you're saying
they can still
assets?
Get Pickett down around 12, 13, 14 if they want it.
Okay. Yep.
And trade down and get extra picks to get them.
I love Pickett. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft, and
I do too.
I did not like though, Erik, that he didn't play in that bowl game. Me and Chris talked about it on the Super 16 poll show, and we were like, that was the one thing I just didn't like, because if you're a quarterback, those guys busted their asses for you all season. What kind of taste that sets the tone for me in this? So I'm guessing we're getting a different pick. We might be getting the kid from Liberty. I'm getting texted.
I think that would be a mistake. But anyway, to go back to Kenny Pickett and your comment there, I don't think you can overstate how people today, agents, cousins, uncles, all work their way into someone's head as to what they should do. And you can't get around that. And hopefully you have somebody that says, you know what? Thank you for support all these years, but this is my life.
Yeah.
And you're in the territory here too. There's been a lot of talk that there's teams on the move trying to come up for wide receiver Jameson Williams. Philadelphia has been thrown out there. New Orleans has been thrown out there as a team that's willing to move up, maybe not for the wideout. Green Bay there's been some late talk about packaging 22 and 28. And to Erik's point, maybe you feel a little more comfortable. There's a chance probably that Pickett may not get past New Orleans or Pittsburgh at 20. So that would probably be a little bit low there, but you may feel a little better about taking one of these quarterbacks in that range down there than up here within.
I think one of the teams that's going to have this year's potentially best draft will be Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're holding all the cards right now.
Yep, they have all the picks.
They got a lot of picks, and they got a lot. They have a franchise
and they've
quarterback.
shown over the last several drafts that they're not afraid to move around.
No.
Yeah. No, they identify what fits their philosophy. Except
Carolina's running this pick. They're running this. We're at 2 minutes 20 seconds.
They're taking it down to the final.
There hasn't been any tips yet on
someone
where they're
texted
going.
me that it was Willits.
Nobody uttered the word Minnesota Vikings right now.
Yeah, right. Mike Tice isn't in Carolina, so they're probably safe.
Erik, when you look at the Chicago Bears, obviously you talked about David Montgomery. You did mention Darnell Mooney. I think the world
is in for Carolina now.
Okay.
But we just don't have.
I think the world of Mooney.
Yep.
You got it?
Well, the pick is in. Jackal hit that, but don't have the name yet.
Wait till Shane has the name.
Oh, Jackal's got it?
Jackal's got it.
Well, pop in and tell us, Jackal.
To pop in. He doesn't got shit.
Oh, they take Erik Kramer's favorite player.
They took the offensive tackle. There it is.
All right, good.
Wolfpack.
Apparently, they were willing to set those last-minute medical concerns aside.
Yeah.
Was there any snorkeling mask involved as well too? It's
hey, if that works, I'm going to send a whole bunch of them to a lot of these guys. So they dropped to day 2.
I wanted Claudio to go to Linderbaum's house and just set that back for it. There he is, Aquanu. Good job. Look at him staring down that uniform. That
is a bad man right there.
Yeah, and he is a very, very intellectual giant.
Who's the best quarterback to ever come out of NC State, Erik? You have any thoughts on that?
Who's the best what?
The best quarterback ever to come out of NC State.
It's gotta be Kramer.
There's a few in there you could throw out.
Rivers? Is Phillip Rivers?
Yeah, you got Phillip.
Were you a fan of Phillip?
You got before all of those, Roman Gabriel, who I was a fan of as a kid. Actually, he came back and played in 1985. That was my first year there. I went to junior college first. And so in the spring, there was actually an alumni spring game. And guess who played quarterback for the alumni? Roman Gabriel.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
You're just tuning in. We got quarterback from the Tape Never Lies Network, Shane. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Quarterback Erik Kramer on here. We're announcing him a part of the network. He's got a show, Kramer's QB School. That'll be on our patronage, the Tape Never Lies Network.com. He's also going to be coming on our shows to talk a lot about some serious mental health issues, things that we never are afraid to attack here on TTNL, keeping it 100. That's what the whole title is. You keep it 100. These issues aren't things we need to hide behind. And Erik has been a huge advocate and support system, not only for me, but for many people. And your story is a tremendous one. I'm excited about you bringing a lot of information about that, as well as a website. If you want to talk about that real quick. The website you're going to, send out there. So talk about that.
Sure. Over about the last year, I've been working with three people. So 2 others, including myself. These are very, these are the kind of people you want to surround yourself with in life. And one guy, Tim Thane, who started a company called Homeward Bound. Prior to that, Tim, I'm just reading in his book again, that he actually ran and owned and operated a therapeutic wilderness camp for teenagers. And so then he saw that there was kind of a void in the transition home amongst the family. And so he started Homeward Bound. That's how I met Tim. And when my son Griffin was I think he was around 13. So what is that? Between your 8th and 9th grade year of high school. We sent Dylan to one of those wilderness camps. And so unfortunately for Griffin, he was brought home after 7 weeks. And so I called the therapist that was involved in this situation, and to my house comes Tim Thane. And so it was what to me at that time was a way to redesign your family, which was amazing. What it really was Tim Thane's research thesis on communication systems. And so Tim, I've been working with, and a woman named Catherine Casimir, who has worked with young kids and families in something called applied improv. So we've come up with something called now Mental Health Touchdown that's going to benefit youth kids around 4th, 5th grade on up through high school. But we're yet to pilot this program, but it's going to probably take place this coming next semester. What would that be? Late August, early September. And it's an after-school program that deals with working with kids at first in helping them to identify traits in people, hopefully themselves too, that they want to aspire to, and get them to begin developing their own home team, which was an essential part of the Homeward Bound process.
Nice.
And people you can reach out to, and when things get tough sometimes, or people that you can be a part of their home team and notice, hey, what's going on lately? What's, and you might find out, someone might find out they're getting bullied.
Yeah.
And think about this, from 4th and 5th grade on up through the end of high school, the problems kind of go that direction, right? They kind of mushroom up and out. And so if you can involve the family in that process too, the parents, the siblings, that's what's going to be Mental Health Touchdown.
Look at you. Eric, Finn is writing you. I read an article where you shared your story. It helped inspired me to take action to self-heal. Thank you for sharing.
All about right there.
That's what it's all about. TTNL is family. We always say that. I'm getting a text from somebody. Tell Eric to turn your camera away from the TV because ESPN will ding us if it's on in the background. Or turn it on. Yeah, turn it on.
There we go.
A buddy of mine who is an expert in copyright, who also has
thinking ahead. I like
$3 million industry, giving us a heads up, Shane. I love that. So thank you.
You forgot a couple zeros on that industry, by the way. 3 selling it a little bit short.
Kramer dropping knowledge is that can, this is the 7th
New York
pick, right?
Giants get their offensive
lineman.
Okay, there we go.
Neal.
That kid's a great football player.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency. I've seen every snap of his career multiple times at this point. He's not going to wow you. He's just going to come to work every single day, and he's going to do his job. And that, hey, if you never hear your left tackle's name called, that's a beautiful thing. And that's the New York Giants need. Well, everybody knows they need a quarterback just like Carolina does.
Right.
But, now they got a franchise fixture.
By the way, I'm sorry to cut you off. Who was it that did take Thibodeau?
That was the Giants.
The Giants.
Oh, so they went back to back?
They had number 5 and number 7. Carolina had
number 7 from us.
So this is the pick that the Giants got from us for the Fields trade.
Okay, got it. All right, good.
Hey, the Giants, they redeemed themselves with the Evan Neal pick. I will say that.
Hey, imagine if they would have went Ekwonu and Neal back to back.
Both. Honestly,
you never know. Carolina could have taken Neal, but still, I am not high on Thibodeau.
Either. It's a
massive gamble in my book here.
I would have taken Karlaftis if I was the Giants. Imagine if the Giants got Neal and Karlaftis, I would think, wow, they're doing something right there. I'm a huge fan of the kid from Purdue. One of my favorite players in this draft. Talk about David Montgomery-esque. Karlaftis never stop. He ain't going to win a track meet, but he is going to win a line of scrimmage when you meet. Those types of guys are the difference makers in the game of football. I'm going to be interested to see where he go. McShay said he might fall out of the first round. I would be taking that guy.
There's a lot of talk.
That is a Khalil Mack clone to me. Like that kind of power at the point and ripping and just never stops. And I can't pronounce his name. You're right, Ryan Cox. I'm never going to pronounce anybody's name.
Give him a number. Let's just call him a number. Who cares?
The guy from Purdue.
I call him the Greek pizza
Purdue
guy. The Purdue guy. George, Jorge, the Greco. What are they? Anyway, we'll see where he goes. I hope he goes in the first round for him and his family, but selfishly, I would have liked to see. I would love to see the Bears get involved there, but obviously, we were talking about Darnell Mooney. Your take on Darnell Mooney, Curtis Conway. You played with immense speed, talent, ball tracking ability, and this is not bias for me. Darnell Mooney, to me, in what I've seen so far, now Curtis's story is one. Darnell Mooney has that difference edge to him at 178 pounds or whatever he is, blocking people like he's 220, where Curtis kind of, I'm not saying Curtis didn't try. I'm just saying he did not.
Right.
He didn't play with this kind of heart and determination.
Let me ask you, Eric. There was a lot of talk about Curtis Conway when he came to Chicago, dealing with homesickness.
Homesickness.
Was that true? Do you know?
I don't know. I never talked to him about that. I didn't. It wasn't something I noticed, and so he was 94 was his rookie year, correct?
Right. 1990.
Or no, 93 was. 93 was. 94 was my first year. Yeah. And so I don't know.
94 was theory.
But right.
John's theory.
Right. Let me go back to a guy that we had that if you paired him up with a guy like Mooney, Jeff Graham. Jeff Graham
oh my God.
was roughly 6'2"-ish, maybe 200, 205, something like that. Not a blazer, but the best route runner I have ever played with. Not even close. And sure, he didn't have breakaway speed, but he positioned the DB wherever he wanted him at the top of the route. You could read before you threw it where to throw the ball every single time. It didn't matter if it's zone, man. And to me, a guy like that could be paired up with Mooney, who is slight in stature and is a flyer. But you could pair up a guy. I'm thinking of, I think I said maybe before, the guy from Georgia,
George Pickens. George Pickens.
Yep, Pickett, or maybe the guy I've also heard is the guy from North Dakota State. Is it Christian Watson?
Christian Watson. How about
Atlanta's pick is now in. They do not go quarterback. They go wide receiver.
First one off the board.
Drake London from USC.
Wow. Drake London.
Okay.
Drake.
I can't remember.
Ryan Pace is there and Phil Emery. Both former Bears GMs are working with the Falcons, and you could see it in their signings of Fetty and Damian Williams. All these former Bears are going over there. Here they take you're from Cali. London, to me, I like his game. He's in my top 10, but I like Williams over him from Alabama, again with the injury. Treylon Burks, I like over him. And I will go as far as to say I'm a big fan. Chris Olave is better than him. So I'm pushing this guy down, but listen. Go ahead.
I'll go back to the first guy you brought up, Jameson Williams, is the way I look at ACL tears now. It's almost like the Tommy John surgery, remember, for pitchers that used to devastate a career.
Yes.
Now that's no big deal anymore. And ACLs are kind of the same way.
He's already up and running and going over hurdles, and he's what'd they say? Is it 45? It's got to be more than that, but he's not very far removed from it. And it's just, hey, everybody is different. I mean, you saw Tariq Cohen tore his ACL, and he's led to other issues, and now he's not even
never
there
came
anymore.
back.
Jameson Williams is out. Like I said, he's working out and looks great. And Jameson Williams for me is my wide receiver one all day long in this draft. He's just, I am so impressed with what he can do. I mean, yes, he's got to learn. He's got some things that he needs to work on, but he has so many things that you can't teach. I don't know how he got out of.
You got that, and
Ohio State.
I would put Drake London in there too. I mean, he's a guy that's rangy and can do things just seemingly,
he's a big
effortless
receiver.
to come to him.
Yeah, he's a big receiver.
He is, and there's a guy too that over time could become more polished. So he's not the finished product himself just yet.
That's why I'm not.
And so I think.
Go ahead,
you had mentioned Drake London, so he's local. He I can't remember if he went to Oaks Christian or Moore Park High School, but he's also a local product and good player all the way back to high school.
This is going to be an interesting pick here. Not to get off the subject of that, but Seattle is a team that can go a multitude of different ways. I mean,
do they go quarterback here?
I don't think so. There's been a lot of talk that they are infatuated with Charles Cross, the offensive tackle, who is probably, I don't know, there's debate on that, but Mississippi State passes damn near every single down. So he's got lots of experience there. There's been a lot of talk that this is going to be Charles Cross. I don't have any inside info or tips on that.
They could yet. Because Dwayne Brown's out there and hasn't been.
But Albert Breer is reporting that the three names most linked pre-draft to Seattle were Kayvon Thibodeau off the board, Derek Stingley off the board, and Charles Cross.
So there you go. You can see
very well see him fall off the board here to Seattle.
If you're just tuning in, we have quarterback and now colleague of the Tape Never Lies Network, QB coach as well, Erik Kramer.
Right.
We will be QB School. Kramer's QB School will be the name of the show. The tapeneverlies.com. Become a patron.
It is in, and it is offensive tackle Charles Cross.
Charles Cross. Charles Cross is official. Seattle Seahawk. There you go. I love that.
Is he the Mississippi State?
To me, he's great pass protector. The year in an NFL weight room and NFL system is going to help him. He's a little linear to me. I think he's got to put on some. When I say weight, it's got to be good weight. Obviously, he's got to bulk up.
He's got the tremendous athleticism.
Oh yeah.
Found the footwork that he showed.
That's tough to teach. I mean, when a guy was born with that,
100%.
You'll take that and build around it.
Yeah.
Who was your left tackle? Was it John? Who was his left tackle when you were playing
here in Chicago?
Yeah,
Andy Heck.
Yeah,
Andy Heck, former Notre Damer.
His son is playing in the league now, I believe.
Yeah,
correct?
and he coaches, right?
Okay. Yeah, Andy's a coach. He was last I heard he was with Kansas City.
Kansas City, I believe so.
And
I think he's still there.
But then when I was with the Lions, we had one with Brown, who wasn't bad himself. Really good, in fact. In fact, he gave me the nickname Calfless, which was, I will say, the best and most funny nicknames are the truest and most accurate ones, right? So he wasn't.
What did he
was
call
telling
you?
the truth, at least. Calfless. In fact, he said, "You don't even have any calves. You got long ankles."
No calves. No calves. But listen, there is some breaking news, Shane. I totally have been running around and forgot to clip it. So I'm going to ask maybe Bratcher. I call him Badger, the honey Bratcher, to get out there. Maybe he can get AB can clip a certain scene from Married with Children. That
no, he can't.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. For 2 seconds, we could show it. Maybe just a picture.
Now we're going back in the day.
25 years today, Shane, is the anniversary of Raymond Harris, Erik Kramer, and Curtis Conway. Was it? Right. Was it Curtis with you too?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
All starring on
the Three Amigos.
One of the most underrated running backs, I feel, in the NFL.
Back.
Raymond Harris.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
You are absolutely right about that.
Back.
I still remember him hitting that. I don't know what you call that play, but you weren't. I don't think you were in that game. The playoff game, I think it was Steve Walsh, where Raymond hit it and he took it to the house versus the Vikings. He just split the safeties, went down. I was going crazy. My brother was a Vikings fan. So I was
Raymond could run, man. For about a 225, 30-pound back, that dude could run, he could catch, he could do it all. And he had a mentality that we've been talking about. The problem, as I remember, is 95, the first play of the season against Minnesota. He catches a wide route out to the right.
Yep.
And near the out of bounds, stretches the ball out and ends up separating a shoulder or breaking a collarbone or something. Done for the year. One play and done.
I remember this now.
I loved both.
Holy shit.
I was and I know a lot of people were down. I was the biggest Rashaan Salam fan. And they had Rashaan and the ultra back. And I know Rashaan had his issues and issues with fumbling the football, but I believe he's the youngest player in NFL history to have a 1,000-yard season, because I think he was literally just 20 years old when the Bears drafted him.
Well, we had our running game was the Dallas Cowboy running game.
Yeah.
And so Power O was a big part of that.
Yeah.
And that's a dude you did not want to get in front of.
Oh man, I love
people
number
did.
31.
31. I hated the number 31. I was like, that's the ugliest number on a running back.
I was so sad. I know, may he rest in peace, Rashaan, but I was I can remember that draft, just sitting there and hoping
the Heisman Trophy
winner that he would drop. I'm like, we're not going to get him. We're not going to get him. And then it happened, and I was so happy. And he went over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns as a rookie.
He did. He was rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Who was the fullback in there? Was that our guy?
Well, we had Tony Carter.
Tony Carter.
Just talked about
Minnesota.
Tony Carter. Robert went to William and Mary, was kind of change pace
Green.
back.
There they are. Look. There you are, Eric.
Hey, look at that now.
25 years ago today, you're on set filming.
That was our first team meeting that year.
What was it like?
I gotta tell you, the funniest is that Ed O'Neill was great. He very personable guy, because most of the day you're just sitting around doing nothing, and he would come over and just chit chat, and he was talking about how in college I guess he went he played somewhere in the Midwest, I think. I can't remember where, but he was saying how they would go down to spring break in Myrtle Beach. Well, at NC State, that's where I'd go a couple of times with some buddies, and I don't really want to tell you what happened down there, but he was just an easygoing guy. But like what struck me him as an actor, because I'd never been on actors before, but like stuff that you probably wouldn't even see come on TV. I don't know if it got cut or what, but like, you know, the premise was he sold his soul to the devil to take the Bears.
Youngstown State in Ohio.
There you go. So he sold his soul to the devil, played by the guy that played Freddy Krueger, right? And and so he's got this magical season where he's scoring touchdown. Even if he thinks about it, he's doing it. And so he's like the NFL's man of the year, and he's posing and doing commercials with, you know, women, and everybody wants some of Al Bundy. And so he's doing these little snapshots of like what would go on the picture of a magazine, and every time, whatever it was, whatever look on his face he wanted to get, he got it. It was like rattled him off like he was telling jokes. Awesome.
Love it.
That is freaking awesome. 25 years ago. It's unbelievable that you were in this town, and I love the fact that you brought up Jeff Graham and you're bringing up these names, because even in those times, I felt like that season was the most secure season offensively. I swear to God on everything I love that we had this guy that would allow me as a young guy to go into a sports bar because he knew I was such a fanatic for the Bears. So this guy was so nice. His name was Ray. That's all I remember.
Back in the day when the satellite dishes were bigger than the houses.
He had 4 of the dishes down in New Haven. The place was called Challenges, and he would record the preseason games for me and leave them up front with the maitre d', the girl, and he would say Phil, and I would watch the preseason games because I needed everything to watch the Chicago Bears. And I still remember watching you guys during preseason, your first pass that I saw, it might not have been your first pass.
Real quick, Phil, the New York Jets selection is now in, and we are seeing these offensive weapons. Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
To New York. Yes.
Not a fan. Not a big Garrett Wilson fan for me.
You and I went through our draft back and forth, alternating picks, you know, building our ultimate.
We skipped over the first 2 receivers.
Yeah, we did. London didn't go, and neither did Garrett Wilson.
We took 6, and we skipped over London and Wilson. The NFL has taken London and Wilson. London's falling, I guess. I don't know. But like I was saying, Erik Kramer went out there in that first, VHS Bears preseason game and just whipped the ball out there. And I was like, wow, we have a passing offense. And sure enough, it was the next season that you guys really caught on fire. And of course, we've always been strong defensively for years. And then all of a sudden, our defense, Chris Zorich, what the fuck happened over there?
Remember, you'd be so excited. Conway would go for
82 yards
or whatever. You're like, yes.
Here we go. We're up by 7.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a freaking counter play goes 80 the other way. I'm like,
yeah,
come on.
I remember we played a game. It was at Green Bay. It was in the snow. And the thought was, is Favre going to play or not? And of course, he comes running out of the tunnel and whatever. And so there was a series where it had to be about 13, 14 play methodical drive down the field, score a touchdown, and they come back and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
We're breaking down the draft here with quarterback Erik Kramer, former Chicago Bear, now TTNL Network guy. Look at that. Teammate. Can you imagine? I was a kid and I was pretending to be him. Now I'm teammates with him on this network. You guys, you fans are very lucky, and you would be even better if you went over to the tapeneverlies.com and subscribed and really get phenomenal breakdowns from all of us on the network, and that includes Shane Marsaw, Matt Carstensen, Bears nerd. Even though he keeps blowing off Coach Kramer, I don't know why.
He is in the middle of getting the kids. No, that's tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow night. This guy's skipping everything.
In the middle of getting the girls settled down, and he has the link, and he will be here. But knowing Cars, he's probably like, is Erik on yet? I just can't do it. That's my hero.
he's got a little performance anxiety here.
Yes.
We also will have X's with the O's, the Masters class as well with my dad, Coach Atosha Sr., Bearlissimo. I saw him in the chat. He'll make an appearance tomorrow night from across the pond.
We have a trade.
Breaking down the tape.
Washington
Right
Commanders.
When I say Bearlissimo, there's a trade. What is going on?
The Washington Commanders are on the move down. And I would not.
Who's a fan of that name, first of all?
I'm not.
Zero people on this show, I can tell you.
Yes. There's been a lot of
fan.
talk about a guy that's going to be traded up for. I mentioned it earlier. There's been a lot of smoke, we'll say, that teams are going to be on the move to secure Jamison Williams. Philadelphia has been tied.
Who's
New Orleans,
here?
Green Bay.
The Saints are moving up.
Saints have moved up. So that was one of the teams that we. But boy, oh boy, can you move up if you're the Saints for a wide receiver?
Who says wide receiver? They might be going after Pickett.
Yeah, I think you got to get your quarterback. I'm not a big believer in Jameis Winston moving forward. You know, they gave up their first-round draft pick in 2023 to consummate a trade a couple of weeks ago with Philadelphia. So that's
this guy, Williams, to me, is the best receiver in this draft.
I agree.
I'm watching his tape, the explosive. He's got a second gear and then a third. That, for that kind of size, is immense. And he's not afraid. If he didn't get hurt in that national championship game, it could have been a different story. He's that elite of a talent.
Yeah, he had the big play and got hurt on the big play.
And then all of a sudden the wind of the sails, you could see the demeanor of the football team, and that's Alabama. They next 5-star guy, come on.
The official trade is the Saints have traded the 16th pick, a 3rd rounder, and a 4th rounder to Washington for the 11th pick. So Washington drops back 5 spots and picks up a
3rd and a 4th.
Solid.
And a 4th.
Solid
this year or next year?
This year.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot for the Commanders and Chiefs.
That tells me I think you're on something, Shane. I think Pickett might be the guy.
Yeah.
Is it Pickett?
That's been the
listen. Drew Brees-esque when I watch him. That's what I see. Anticipation throws, Erik. You talk about him. What do you see in Kenny Pickett when you watch him?
I see everything you want in a quarterback. He's got it all. He's got decisiveness. He's got accuracy. He's got athleticism. He's got good size. He's not going anywhere. I mean, he'll be around for 10, 12, 15 years. And that's a guy to build your franchise around. Yeah. And you name me another one in this year's draft.
Willie McGinnis reported earlier that he has people within the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, and they have the best access to Kenny Pickett that you'll ever have.
You got it right.
The same building. Yep. But according to Willie McGinnis, Pickett is not their QB1 in this draft. It's Matt Corral. And that is
I like Matt Corral, but I
like Matt Corral too. Another Oaks Christian guy started out there anyway.
Yeah.
Is he?
Phil, you and I, those are the 2 quarterbacks that went in our back and forth mock draft. You took Pickett, I took Corral.
There you go. Those are my top 2 quarterback. Willis scares me from Liberty.
Me too.
51% completion percentage in the middle of the field for Malik.
That to me is NFL.
That's a major red flag.
That's developmental. I mean, you talk about it. How important is it that seam route against cover 2 to be able to dime that ball in that window? is such the difference between an average quarterback, a backup, and a starter. If the starters can hit that, the starters can hit that.
My feeling is everyone touts him as a great athlete and a great arm.
Mm-hmm.
To both of them, I say, who cares? So, because neither one of those add up to being to be the guy that when they say complete all the throws, that has nothing to do with your arm strength. When you can maneuver defenders and anticipate throws based on the way you maneuver people, it's seam throws, it's curl routes, it's slant routes that are caught on the run to go 90 yards. That's playing quarterback. It's what can you get to go back to your point, Phil? You got to audible at the right time, or not at all, or know what you're doing in order to get your team into the right play, not just once in a while, but every game, every practice, so that when you go on, like your team, your coaching staff, your team knows that you know what you're doing.
The New Orleans Saints pick is in, and it's a stunner for me.
Where's DJ Stunner?
They have selected wide receiver Chris Olave.
That guy.
Well, there's one guy. Apparently, Justin Fields isn't getting his receiver back.
Yeah. That's the one thing.
Hey, give me Alec Pierce.
Olave.
Do you like Alec Pierce, Eric?
I do.
Alec Pierce.
Another good, solid, tall, lanky guy who's battled through some things in college. And I think he's going to be there. Also a potential pick there in the second round.
Back-to-back Ohio State wide receivers go.
When did that happen? Guess who went to Ohio State? Former teammate Jeff Graham was from Ohio State. Look
at got that right.
You're going to disrespect Alonzo Spellman like that, Phil?
Hey, everybody's had some up here and some down here, right? So,
speaking of defensive linemen,
let's get right to the tape, guy. When you look at this draft, the Chicago Bears, they might need a 3 technique, Shane, at 39. Are you going to be afraid of a 3 technique there?
Hey, it's the engine that makes Eberflus's defense go in that defense. And I saw this defensive lineman that's in the green room right now. I saw him racing an old man down a street from about 25 years ago from Lake North. So that's better than running any 40.
If you're a fan of TTNL, you already know who might be in the green room right now. And listen, I guess if I'm the coach and Shane's the GM, we got our quarterback and we need our 3 technique. I guess we made some great 1990s selections here. Let's bring out our guys. The teammates will be together here on TTNL. A little surprise teammate double header. Let's bring him out. The All-American 2nd round pick.
Real quick before you do it. We have
Bears fan.
Another big trade.
Oh,
the
God.
Detroit Lions have moved up and are now back on the clock.
Fuck the Lions.
Bears fans, when you think of toughness and blue collar, you should think of our next guest. An alumnus of Chicago Vocational High School, this guy headed to South Bend with a scholarship in hand to suit up for the Fighting Irish, where he became a champion after college. He didn't have to move very far, as his hometown Chicago Bears made him the 49th overall pick in the 1991 NFL Draft. Bears fans, TTNL fans, get out your seats and give it up for former Chicago Bears defensive lineman, he's Chris Zorich.
There he is.
That's
the man right there.
E-Dog, what's up, man?
You went out and got a good one this time. Good job.
Yes.
What's up, Z?
We got 2 former Chicago Bears on the network. Chris Zorich every Monday night, the Super 16 show.
Hey.
Yes, and the Zorich podcast.
Thank you, sir.
You got to check him out.
Let me update everybody real quick, not to step on your toes there, Phil. Detroit has sent picks number 32, number 34, and number 66 to Minnesota for number 12 and number 46.
Really?
They're moving up with Minnesota.
Oof. Are they going to get our guy, Jameson Williams?
This could be the pick.
Is this Jameson Williams or a quarterback? Kenny Pickett could be a lion here because they have the biggest.
And the report is that this pick is
Mr.
a
Kramer.
Shocker. That is the initial word.
Because Jared Goff is one of the biggest pussies I've ever seen as a quarterback. I'm just not a big fan of Jared Goff. He's soft, soft Goff.
Right.
That's better for.
The pick is in.
A former number 1 pick.
The Detroit Lions have moved up. For Alabama wide receiver.
Oh, they did take
Jameson
our guy.
Williams.
Oh,
wow.
Detroit gets the best receiver in the draft. What are they getting? What was his name? Herman Moore again? Remember Herman
Herman
Moore?
didn't have that kind of speed, but Herman was Inspector Gadget.
Oh my God.
That dude he had some lift and he had some arms to go up and get it.
Wow.
But he's got
Chris,
that fast track in Detroit to run
me
on.
and you, Chris, talked about this kid as they led up to the national championship. This kid is a game breaker, a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
He was he would have been my number 1 player in this draft had he not been hurt. Detroit obviously feels the big trade, sending a lot of money up there, a lot of picks to get him. Chris,
that was a lot. I'm really surprised. Really surprised.
But they want big play receivers. Detroit at one time took 3 receivers back in the first round. Mike Williams, and then another Mike Williams. Charles Rogers.
Right.
And then they ended up skipping, and then they took Calvin Johnson. They finally got it right.
Right. But that was that 3 back-to-back, or that was Matt Millen's exit strategy, right?
Yes. Charles Rogers had those good combine numbers, but his cocaine numbers were also equally high. That was the big problem with Charles.
Yes.
Unfortunately. Great player at Michigan State. But
they pass up on a quarterback there. So the quarterbacks continue to fall.
And of course, my safety from Notre Dame. Come on now.
Oh.
Right.
Yep. Where do you project him, Chris? You said it today.
Top 5.
Top 5?
Really?
I thought so, like everybody else did.
Even though Mike North could beat him in a 40?
He had a bad. Wow. Saying you are so bad. You are so bad. Well, that was the whole thing, right? Was that they were really unhappy with his 40. Yeah. And all of a sudden now he's dropping a little bit. I mean, everybody had him top 5.
We have another trade up.
Oh no!
Here we go.
My nemesis, because everybody in my family is a fan of this shit-ass team.
So now there's got to be another receiver.
Are now on the clock.
There's a lot of receivers in a deep receiver draft. They're trading up.
They could go the fly.
They're going to quarterback.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going defensive lineman. I think they're going the kid from Florida State. Yeah.
Okay.
Howie builds.
I like the kid from Florida State better than Thibodeau. Chris, you're perfect here. Thibodeau goes to the Giants. Erik talked about his heart. He doesn't show that he's more interested in the accolades of the game and not the game. If anybody could talk about that, you can, because that's not the Zorich way.
I don't necessarily think that was necessary the case. I mean, he was injured. And I know, Phil, we actually covered him a lot.
Yeah.
The last college football season. And interestingly enough, the games he didn't play, the actual team didn't even play well as a whole. I was kind of shocked that the guy from Michigan really went so high.
Hutchinson?
Everybody was talking about, Hutchinson. Everybody was talking about he was going to go 2. There was a possibility he may even go 1. I think that was a shocker for everybody who they got, who the Jaguars got. But in reality, did anybody watch the Michigan Georgia game?
Yeah.
There was a play on there worth watching for sure.
I'm just trying to make sure, because chances are the folks he actually went up against are going to be in the league as well. And Hutchinson really didn't even play well. So I'm just really surprised. And actually, I know you and I talked about this. Thibodeau was higher for me. I just think he has a great athletic ability, but Hutch went higher.
I'm a fan of Hutch. Thibodeau just seems to be one of those guys that don't show up all the time.
Nah, come on, man.
Come on, I'm just telling you.
Game.
Well, I don't think it's that so much, Chris. Where do you fall if you have to question if a guy this age of football is maybe not in his top 2 priorities in his life at this age?
What other priorities would he have?
Well, that's what we're asking.
That's
why
that has been the talk, that he
likes the
you heard Brandon Marshall say back in the day that football is Jordan Davis going to Philly. They took the
Jordan Davis, the big man.
I like that
big man.
I like that pick for them because I know I took him in our mock, Phil, just to match up on our back and forth. But man, this guy got 41 snaps this past season on third down. 41. Is that a red flag for you guys? I know that defense is loaded, but man, when you have all those attributes that Jordan Davis does in that size, you're pulling that dude off the field on third down, to me, that's a red flag.
There was a lot of showcase. Me and Chris covered how dominant he was. I mean, doing things that maybe I saw Ted Washington do at that size, but never as athletic as Davis. I mean, I've never seen that kind of a freak down in that interior. Now, you make a point. Is he winded? He got winded in that first game, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And that's actually what we talked about. That's why Alabama beat the crap out of him.
Exactly.
But I think one of the things, and Shane, kind of to your point, we actually covered this on the Super 16 poll show. The guy who came in on third down was actually a taller D lineman. Yep. So I don't necessarily think it was Jordan Davis's fault that, he may not be as tall. I think the other guy was like 6'8" or something like that. It was something crazy.
I mean, you're pairing him up with Fletcher Cox. That's pretty goddamn impressive.
He is a freak at that size.
My big concern is, and like I said, I don't obviously know Jordan Davis personally, but when you're having issues in terms of, your physical fitness, once you get paid, you get in the league. I don't know if that becomes more of an issue. Do those guys figure that out at that size in the NFL? It's just something that I'm going to be watching.
They figured that out real quick.
Yeah.
Because now they get paid.
Yeah.
And
and if they don't figure it out, I get it.
They will be gone in a minute. And it's interesting because, and Eric, this, the idea of your peers, I mean, the guys in the D line room will give him such a hard time if he's not making weight. And then if he's not making weight, he's not going to play. And so the idea that he's going to be kind of fined for maybe being overweight, or more importantly, the idea of him being a great athlete, first round pick, and having some questions, I guarantee he's going to come into camp fit as a fiddle, and he's going to be dominant.
If you're tuning in,
well,
as you
know, Chris, in every locker room, there's one or two or three guys. It doesn't matter for offense or defense; they're predatorial. So if you're a guy that doesn't show up before you even get to a game, you're going to get hammered on. So I don't know. I think in that culture, like you mentioned, Shane, now that the guy's getting paid, is he going to go backward even from where he was?
Yep.
That's kind of a question of who you are kind of internally as you grow up in life. And are you somebody that's always been patted on the back for everything you do, right or wrong? Or, have you figured out occasionally, okay, I got to be accountable for myself? And it's that lack of responsibility that gets people in trouble sometimes. And hopefully he's somebody that won't be an issue. Maybe he's already gone through some things in life that, as we're now pointing out, we're not the first, we won't be the last. And so hopefully he's gotten it together at this point.
If you're just tuning in now,
Albert
quick.
Breer is reporting that Baltimore was fully expected and wanting to draft Jordan Davis.
That totally
Philly
fits
caught wind of it and gave up 3-day 3 picks to move up one spot ahead of them.
Wow.
But in true Baltimore fashion, they're gonna. There's not too many more teams than Baltimore that can manipulate the board and move around, go up, go down, accumulate future picks, and then you're like, how the hell did they get this animal?
So next,
I think offensive line is back in play here for Baltimore. Potentially, it'll be
Bronny Stanley has been banged up and hasn't been, being able to be there for them. So we'll see how they do here. If you're just tuning in,
those Notre Dame guys, bro. You gotta question them.
Erik
Easy, baby. Just because you got like 30 guys drafted from Alabama in the first round, Shane, back up, baby.
I saw a great stat today, Chris, and I almost said it to you. It said,
"Here we go."
Had a picture of Nick Saban with a big grin on his face, and he's had 39 first-round draft picks since he's been in Alabama. And he has 25 losses as a head coach since he's been in Alabama.
I mean, come on. I mean, if that's not the best stat possible.
Yeah, I know. They're going to have potentially the number 1 overall pick next year, put their pass rusher. Anderson is just, if you want to watch a guy that's just unbelievable.
Is that number 11?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Phil, we talked about him because he was a sophomore, right?
Yeah. He's not even draft eligible because of his age. Yeah. He would have been off the board.
He would have been the number 1 pick.
I think he would have. Yeah. He's all day long. You're taking him over Trayvon Walker.
Oh my God. This dude was so dominant. Again, I'm a huge fan of. I'm a huge fan of the Greek pizza, George Kalafidis out of Purdue.
Here we go.
There he goes. He's
Chris
the Ravens love their safeties, man. It makes sense.
The Ravens.
We've finally got a Notre Dame guy to go.
Yeah.
Behind the NC State one, obviously, but we got one off the board.
Wow.
No more Pouline Weed Eater Bowl championships. He's going for the division title.
Hey man, it's been a while since we had a first rounder, man.
Yeah,
Bratcher could give me a little snippet of Notre Dame fight song. Bratcher, AB.
I bagged on Notre Dame a lot. How do you not love Kyle Hamilton? I couldn't have drafted him up in the top. I know, Chris, you said top 5. I'm not a guy that I'm not sure if I can draft any safety up there, but in terms of, I don't give two shits about his 40 time. That doesn't bother me.
Chris Zorich actually had a better 40 time.
Yeah, guys are all different.
I appreciate that.
You did.
Fantastic player. I mean, what is he? What, six? Is he 6'4"?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster.
I mean, I've met him. He kind of looks down on me. He's like, listen, son. I was like, wow.
Wow. That's safety. That's safety.
Yeah.
There it is, Chris, for you.
Yo.
Give it up. Notre Damer, his boy, goes off the board, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. He's on.
That was a lot of pressure. Thank God. Thank God.
Now it's past. I don't even know the NC State fight song, so I'm sorry, Erik.
Sorry, E.
Go State.
Hey, Erik, I have a crazy North Carolina State stat. Check this out. I don't know if you
give it to me.
And this has to do with quarterbacks, has to do with Notre Dame. Did you know that the year after NC State's basketball team won the national championship,
83, that would have been right.
That's really impressive, Shane. That's
Great
crazy.
job, baby.
They call me the smartest man, Chris.
Call him the
For a reason. For a reason.
For a reason.
My head is full of useless information, bro.
Check this out. I bet you didn't know this. They offered a scholarship to a guard from the Pennsylvania area who happened to play quarterback later on in life. Shane, do you know who this person is?
I do not.
Erik,
Joe Montana?
Hey, man, shut up, Phil. God damn it.
I'm just
I
thought you said Phil.
You're a dick.
It was Joe Montana. Yes.
What? Is that crazy?
Scratcher, clip that. Scratcher, clip that.
Is that crazy?
That is.
I mean,
Right,
he
right.
And his dad, the only reason why he didn't take it was because his dad told him, you know what? I think you'll be a better football player. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Look at that.
That was an athlete,
They won a
man.
national championship. That's insane.
It's still Erik Kramer's favorite quarterback, Joe
Mhm.
Montana.
Oh, I love it.
You can't get him off. He won't even go to Tom Brady. He stays.
And I got a shameless plug. For more information about Joe Montana,
Go
check out
ahead.
the Zorich podcast. There you go.
Out
Bam!
of
I
way.
like that one.
Out of way, 97.
The Zorich podcast, our guy right here tonight. So look at, you're getting your college fight songs. AB stepping up. Chris Jackal stepping up. Who would have thought I would say those words, that sentence? There he is. What's up, Chris? You feeling the
what's up,
draft,
man?
Chris?
What up? What up? How we doing this evening, gentlemen?
You feeling this draft, Chris?
I'm feeling Chicago Bears picks, man. That's what I'm feeling. Let's get
Can you
to fucking
grab
that.
the book on Kyle Hamilton behind you?
Hold on,
Jackal. No, behind you.
No, I do the trick where I grab the book
On
in
your
front
fat
and,
head of
because these are fake as
books
shit.
to
So.
make you look smart back there.
I'm impressed. Those are real. I'm impressed. Holy
No, they
shit.
are not. It's a
No,
fat
those are
head. bro.
$8
It's a
at
fat head.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Are you
Zorich.
serious?
Plus-
You see my background.
Plus, somebody else read those books.
Exactly.
He made sure that he read all of them before he bought the
Before he
fact.
Holy shit.
Uh-oh.
Another
Uh-oh.
trade up. The
A
Philadelphia
what?
Eagles have traded up once again. And
How
are
many
now
What?
on
To
the
Houston?
clock.
been made?
To Houston?
What did
No,
they
they
give up this
traded
time?
Wow.
up to Houston at 13. And now
Somebody
they've
wants
traded up
Johnson.
yet again at 15.
15, but Houston had the 15th.
Oh, they
pick.
did?
Yes, I thought. AB, great job
What did they give up this time?
doing the.
I don't know. I think this has got, like I told you guys, Howie is a stickler for line play. I mean, I talked about Jermaine Johnson. I wouldn't be shocked if it's him. I know they've been tied to him. Offensive lineman. I don't know, Phil, you like anybody here? in
I
terms
like
of-
the Kenyon Green.
Yeah, I don't
is
think
a
they'll go there.
tremendous
I don't
football
think
player.
that fits Philly's MO. I think it's
Uh,
I don't think that they're going to pass up a talent like Jermaine
Listen,
Johnson myself. I
are
have
they
no
looking
inside
at-
info here on
Are
that.
they looking
but
at Tyler Linderbaum, my boy? I think he's the best. Here we go. I don't
Throw it
want
up
to jinx it. I was hoping Linderbaum would fall, but
I
let's
don't
see who
have
they
it.
get.
You mean throw it up there.
Yeah.
You have it? I have no.
Oh, the
offensive tackle
lineman, Green.
Oh, they took him?
Kenyon. There you go.
No, the Texans took him.
Oh, the Texans took
That's
him.
what Albert Breer said here.
But there was a trade, right?
Yeah, but I think that they traded
here.
up after. I think they traded up after Houston.
Breer deleted
Breer has
that.
Texans taking the
Oh,
Green.
he did delete it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Breer
okay.
deleted that.
My
trade.
bad then. Yep.
Oh, see, your information.
This is
Never
getting
trust the guy
confusing
from
here.
Ohio State, right?
It's getting confusing here. Listen, if you're just tuning in, we got former Bears quarterback Erik Kramer, now of TTNL Network, as well as former Bears defensive tackle, as well as two-time All-American at Notre Dame with a deeper voice, and also TTNL Network, Chris Zorich, breaking down the draft, the first round of the draft tonight. No Bears are picking, or will they trade up?
What?
Or will they trade?
Wait, the Bears have no picks? Come on.
The second round, Chris.
39 and 48. We're
You
coming
have to
in.
wait till like the next 36 hours?
Yes.
Yes, you're here.
That's what happens when you get
You
a guy
were
who
a
has
second
no
round
idea.
pick. You're our second round support.
But you guys agree if Justin Fields is in this draft at number 2, he's a Detroit Lion. That's what I feel. He's not.
Absolutely.
Jacksonville's got
That's
Trevor
interesting.
Lawrence. I think he's going number
Could be.
2 to Detroit.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
He's the best
You know
quarterback
what?
in this draft.
You know what?
Uh-oh.
You're gonna say
Zorich.
I'm just saying, and I don't kind of go back on what I discussed, but my guy
You're
from
not a
Alabama's
flip-flop.
training. This is gonna kill me.
This was
But
my guy.
Our guy Mac Jones, who I absolutely adore.
Yeah,
I think he was a steal
Oh
for New England. I mean, and I don't know quarterbacks. Eric, please chime in. I think he was the best quarterback last year.
The Texans.
I agree with you.
The Texans.
No
took
argument here.
We have a player trade.
Yes,
We
Hollywood
have a
Brown.
player trade.
Yeah,
On the
Marquise
move.
Brown has been traded to the Arizona Cardinals.
Look at that. Going back to Mac Jones last year, I got a lot of shit because
Well, as a
that was
network,
my
Phil, we
quarterback.
talked about it early on. We had people from Draft Network on here that said he's no better than a third rounder, and to a man, and we don't agree that often on, especially at quarterback. Phil,
Yes.
myself, Cars, Berlissimo, George, we were all in on the Mac Jones trade. Listen, does he have all the physical attributes you want? Is he body beautiful? Nope. You can't. His accuracy is amazing. It was at
Outstanding.
Alabama.
Erik
Yes.
Kramer-esque.
He had all the time in the world, but you saw it. You see it at New England this year. I mean, I'm so impressed with Mac Jones. Totally agree.
Well, hold up, Shane. I love you, but can you let the fucking quarterback? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on, man.
Go ahead.
That's what he does.
Yeah. I've never played one snap of organized football in my life. I'm just going to shut up now.
I'm just saying, Eric's sitting there like, damn,
We clipped
This is
that.
major
I mean,
breaking news that somebody
let
told me to shut up on this network because Phil is the one that never shuts up. But go ahead, Eric.
Please
I
make
digress.
sure that
That way, though.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah,
The man's a quarterback.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think Mac Jones, to me, is a guy that anticipates well, accurate, tough, gritty, and for a guy that his first year in the league showed he can control a game by the way he distributes the ball, get team in the right the right play at the right time. And to me, is a great quarterback and a guy you can build around. And that guy, why not get him some weapons?
Real quick, Marquise Brown was just traded, like we said, to the Arizona Cardinals for their first round draft pick at number 23 overall.
Are you fucking kidding
And the
me?
Washington Commanders have made their pick already, and they have taken another wide receiver,
Oh my!
Jahan Dotson. These guys.
This kid's a football player, right?
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
That kid's a football player.
Yep.
How in the hell is Arizona giving up 23 for Marquise Hollywood Brown?
They said it wouldn't be done, and every year, and I've watched the draft since I was 7 years old. So I was in second grade, and watching names on a screen back then in the 80s. And I've never seen anyone predict the first round of the draft exactly how it goes. That's what makes this grown man's Christmas for all Bears fans. You see them play in college, how they transition to the NFL. This is a $1 billion business. Elon Musk doesn't even own a team. There's no science behind it. There's nothing. Yeah, they haven't figured the science out yet. And they couldn't even figure out who to hire at coach here in Chicago. It continues to be the same thing over and over and over again. You two both played for just a fan. I'm just a fan. I'm not a, what did he say? Where is it? Where is it? The drop. I don't know where it is. I was trying to set it up.
The official trade is Hollywood Brown and a third, number 100 overall to Arizona for number 23.
I'm just a fan. I'm not a football evaluator.
Well, your grandfather created the NFL.
Obviously, but
how about you spend some fucking time with him and read books and go to coaches' clinics, and somebody in the family stop milking off the money and learn the game so you can hire and get rid of. I don't want to get these two in trouble. I don't want to get you two in trouble, but I will say it looks like maybe they finally got it right at GM and head coach. I'm hearing things that I like to hear. The way this board is dropping, though, Kramer, a lot of wide receivers are going off the board, and that doesn't sit well for me or you.
No. It sits just fine because we all thought there's 5 or 6 that are going to go in the first round. Fine with that.
Well, you got 5 in the first
guys that are getting
picks right now.
First 16 picks. Yeah. There could be 7 more.
There's going to be a drought come up really quick right now on wide receivers, and that's why I think a couple guys are going to fall right where we want them to, to the Bears. And you had mentioned Linderbaum earlier. Yes. I think he's one of them that could fall.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that. I know Tony Pauline was reporting a couple of guys, and Chris, you may be able to talk about these guys a little bit. Cam Jurgens is a guy that a lot of people didn't have high, but Tony Pauline is reporting that he is one of the guys that is very involved with the Chicago Bears at pick 39.
If they pick him at 39, you're gonna lose me on.
And anger. Luke Gadecki is another name that is a lot of draft nicks and fans that are expecting to go much later. Tony Pauline is also reporting he's expected to go in the top end of the second round, and Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears have been heavily connected to him. He's a former tight end. Switched him over to offensive line. I think he's probably going to project inside in the NFL. I mean, he's a nasty dude.
I like Gadecki.
He's got there's a lot of upside there because he's so young in his offensive line, career as the former tight end, but it's going to be
right. But here's the question, Sammy: Do you take that?
I know
with the risk of saying, hey.
That's what I've been saying. Oh, he's freezing up a little bit.
He froze up a little bit. No. Get Ron G over there quick.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I just moved.
Me and Chris are in the moving bus, both of us.
Totally agreed with what Chris is saying, man. That's what got Ryan Pace in trouble, was going with upside rather than football players.
Exactly.
And this is Phil. We've talked about it, and I
just draft football
Bears
players.
Bears Twitter is going to melt down, and this is what I've been trying to tell people. I'm not going to be shocked if a 39 comes up and it's a 3 technique, or if it's a cornerback. You just saw Jamison Williams go within the division, and you're putting trade. You're putting a lot of pressure on Thomas Graham, a 6th-round draft pick.
There's Cherie
to come in.
Thank you, Cherie.
Yes, our girl Cherie.
I'm not going to be stunned. I just think it's Green Bay's coming up. I mean, George Pickens is a guy that has been linked to them much earlier than people have been putting him in mock drafts. I seen him connected at number 22 overall to Green Bay. It's going to be interesting.
Pickens scares me because of the personality. There's no questioning the bloodline. You remember his father, I'm sure, Carl Pickens with the Bengals.
The Chargers just got themselves an animal. Zion Johnson, offensive lineman from BC.
BC
Absolute
boy.
Mauler. Not a fan, Chris?
Like that guy.
You don't like Zion?
I am. I'm excited,
Oh.
man. Anytime you get an offensive, defensive lineman going in the first round, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You were shaking your head like you didn't like them.
No, I was shaking my head in amazement. The idea of the big, fat, ugly guys going out there and making some money is a good thing. Fuck all these quarterbacks and receivers, man. Give it to the guys that really win the games. Come on, man.
The Chargers made
you know what I'm talking about, man.
Chargers are making moves.
They picked up Mac. They've got this guy now. They've done some good stuff. They got
the corner from New England.
Wasn't there another free agent pickup they had?
The corner from New England.
Right.
Jenkins. What's
Gilmore.
Not Gilmore. It was
not Gilmore.
JC. What's his name?
JC Jackson. Yep.
Thank you, JC Jackson.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of his.
Yeah.
But they got Rayshon. Eric, to your point from earlier, they got the young signal caller.
Brown.
They gave him Rayshon Slater last year.
The Eagles.
Who has been?
AJ Brown.
Wow.
AJ Brown to the Eagles. Wow. This is what's coming over my text. Another trade has happened.
That's verified from Adam Schefter.
Jesus.
Oh, well, you know.
Imagine I'd rather have AJ than the other Brown. I'll tell you that. I'm keeping that 100. I can't believe Arizona traded for Hollywood Brown. AJ Brown, though.
Right.
Well, this is going to be interesting here because Dan Patrick yesterday talked, and he said that the sleeper team to go quarterback that nobody has talked about in round one is Tennessee. So now they have even more ammo to go there. And Dan Patrick, formerly of ESPN, doing the Dan Patrick show now on his own, was reporting that. And to me, you see this move made, why they want to trade AJ. It's got to be all financial because I know he's got a contract coming up. But I think you could see quarterback in play here, obviously, now, like Dan was saying, for Tennessee. Tannehill's
I see that too.
Years old. Yep.
And he's got a big cap number coming up this year and next. And really hasn't played up to it.
Liberty University is in Virginia, close to Tennessee. Could you see the kid Willis go to the Titans here? Could that be a surprise? Or are we all in agreement with Pickett?
I don't see Malik Willis. Whoever does get him in the first round, I think is making a big mistake.
Yeah.
I think Kenny Pickett's the guy. Like, not
I'm
even
with
close.
you. I'm with you too.
Folks were so high on him, though. I mean, it was like he invented the forward pass, really. I mean, it was crazy.
I get it. I get it how people get enamored with the wrong guy all the time. But for me, Malik Willis isn't that guy. Not now, not ever.
How do you feel, Eric, about a college quarterback? Granted, it is Liberty, but when you see a 51 completion percentage in the middle of the field, that's
right. Well, that's just a number to me. What I see when I see him play is indecisiveness.
Yep.
And when you saw his workout, he was so enamored with himself that he threw some ball down the field. Like, that's not the NFL, dude. It's not. When's the last time you did that in college even? Right. So, there's a grind associated with the reality of NFL or any other thing in life. And so, can you keep showing up daily and get better daily? And it's not about showing your arm off and high-fiving everyone as you're on the way down congrats at the guy who caught it. So I don't see his mental makeup of being the guy that's going to fall under a coach who's going to help him get to the next level, which is consistency. That's what this is all about. Exactly. It's not a 65-yard throw running to your left and great. It looks pretty, but can you complete it on 3rd and 4 to get the first down, to get the next first down? And, we've talked about that throughout this podcast, this show. And, that's the kind of guy Kenny Pickett is. And Matt Corral and the guy from Cincinnati,
Ritter. Yep.
But I don't see that with Malik. I just don't.
I agree with you 100%. I've said this since Jump Street. The only thing, me and Chris talked about this on the Super 16 poll show, was me and Chris weren't happy with Pickett's choice to sit out that bowl game and let his teammates go out there when you are the general. I mean, honestly, Erik, NC State Erik, go back. Could you ever see yourself saying, you know what? I got to protect my no cab ass and not play.
Right. No, I couldn't see doing that, but no, there was no social media back then. There was no cell phones back then. And so, to answer your question, I couldn't see doing that. And I think you're right. I think you're both right about making that point. That's kind of that's a legitimate knock on a guy to me. That here you've been together with this team all these years, and here the last bowl game you're going to sit out. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And maybe that's worth something in terms of reconsidering drafting a guy. But I think you maybe get through that in the interview process, hopefully, and maybe he's had some time to reconsider that. I don't know. But you're right. That was not a good look.
Well, Erik, I'm going to play devil's
real quick, Chris, not to step on you. The Tennessee Titans pick is in. Everybody, please focus on Draft Dr. Phil as his head explodes. Treylon Burks.
Damn you!
Is now.
I thought he would slide that mother. You take one AJ out and you put in Debo Jr. That's what you're getting with the Titans. This guy, let me just pontificate on Treylon Burks real quick.
Please.
Treylon Burks is a football player. He's the definition when I watch tape.
Is that why he was in the draft?
No, there's a wide receiver and then there's a football player. Walter Payton was not just a running back. He was a football player. David Montgomery, that's why I stand up for him. He's a fucking football player. This kid right here takes the football and has pride each and every time that ball is in his hand. You could just tell there's a different feel when he's on there. This is why I had him so highly rated. He was my number 3 rated wide receiver in this draft. Hey, at least the Green Bay Packers didn't get him. That's how I have to look at this, because this kid is a game breaker. And go back and look at my draft rankings, and you could see the history of my misses, obviously, and a lot more successes with guys that are like this, a football player. I like this guy. I like how he plays the game of football. So I just wanted to get that Burks coverage. We are covering the NFL draft here tonight. We have Erik Kramer, now a part of TTNL Network. If you're just tuning in, Erik Kramer is a part of the network. Kramer's QB School will be this fall and probably earlier in preseason, taking a look at the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields, the offense. What is Luke Getsy doing good? What is Luke Getsy needing to improve on? Is this Kramer approved with the Etotians that there needs to be a fucking counterplay somewhere called or drawn up every once again?
Real quick, some more news in, not a trade or anything like that, but AJ Brown, new wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, has just signed a new 4-year deal for $100 million with $57 million of that guaranteed.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
Wow. Well, Treylon
It's
Burks.
becoming a players' league in the truest sense of the word now.
Wow. That is a lot of money. Treylon Burks is, I believe, maybe not, he's a rookie, so I won't put him there. But scouting those two players, AJ coming out of Ole Miss, Burks coming out of Arkansas, I had a way higher grade on Burks than I did have on Brown. What that means now, this dude got paid. God bless him. I'm not going to hate a man for getting paid. Good for him. But the Titans got his replacement at a discounted price, I would say, right? You just replaced him and had this. So anyway, Erik Kramer, Kramer's QB School, part of the TTNL Network, the tapeneverlies.com, as well as my boy Chris Zorich, also on the TTNL Network, the Super 16 Poll Show, Monday nights in the fall, breaking down his top 16 college football teams in the country. And if you followed Chris, there was no bias. There was no bullshit. There was no favoritism for his alma mater, AB. He believed in what he saw. And that's why these two gentlemen were super excited to bring him and announce him on here. You had another announcement. We got our new producer here.
Oh, hey.
AB, Alan
busy.
Thatcher.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Just announced yesterday.
Yeah.
Guess what? Today's the 25th anniversary of Erik Kramer, Curtis Conway, and Raymond Harris on Married with Children. Give it up for them.
Holy shit.
They were 25 years ago today. And
I had no idea.
You and AB, you and Erik Kramer came onto the network on the same day yesterday.
I'm the 7th round draft pick. He's the first round draft pick.
Yes, you are Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
He is.
We had you marked as a UDFA. Not to push your bubble, bro. But actually, we're trading you to the Damascus car bombs in the Afghan League, Bratcher. So.
Listen, to the Connecticut Deer Ticks are looking for a stud wide receiver. Do you still? Anyway, Alan, we're super excited about you being here as well.
I appreciate it.
Are you having fun here?
Oh, man. First draft. Loving this, man. I'm busy. I finally got it wrapped down. Sorry, guys, about the mix-up with the ticker. My bad. It won't happen again.
No.
I promise.
You're doing perfectly fine. You're doing great.
I actually have a question for AB, our new super producer here.
Shoot, man.
Talk to us a little bit about your hashtag Team Mongo.
So I have been a huge Mongo fan forever. I was actually at Mongo Fest. I've met him a few times, man, and he's just I grew up listening to him. I grew up watching him play. I've admired him from afar, and I'm a fan. And with everything he's going through right now, as much support as I can give him, even if it's something small. Ever since I started podcasting, I have had that logo on there from day one, and I'm not planning on getting rid of it.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
And that's why you're a part of this network. Shout out hashtag Team Mongo. Steve McMichael, if you haven't been alive and hearing news lately, has been suffering, really going through, I don't even know how to describe it, the worst of the worst as he struggles through, what is the disease?
ALS.
Yeah,
Lou Gehrig's.
And Lou Gehrig's. And listen, you and your teammates all out there supporting him, as well as the fans. Listen, I'm not blowing smoke. Let me just say this real quick about Steve McMichael. And if you look at Steve McMichael's stats, and if you look at Steve McMichael's effort, Warren Sapp can't hold a candle to these numbers. I've met Warren Sapp. He's got the class of a freaking ant out there. I'll tell him right to his face.
Same.
Steve McMichael, I've never met him. I've met Warren, and Steve McMichael deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, not because he has ALS, but because of what he did and the things he sacrificed on the football field. And listen, you two guys could speak. I'm sure both of you have met Steve. I know you have, Chris, 100%. And Erik, if you want to speak on Steve, please do so.
E?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Erik?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll jump in. I'll say that. So yeah, Steve McMichael, there was a after post game, not post game, but it was at night. It was on Fox, I think it was, and Steve McMichael were on the same show. We were together. I know 1 year, maybe 2, and great guy, funny and just entertaining. Like he was kind of the personality on the show, actually. And yeah, and just but when I was in Detroit, he was the guy that I don't care how cold it was. It could have been 30 below, 20 below. He'd be out there in short sleeves, just walking around, parading around like, this is nothing to me. But he was a character too. Just getting to know him was away from the field was in itself, to me, something memorable. And to see him at last year's Bears alumni golf outing show up in his chair was both inspirational, but at the same time, life's filled with some tough moments, and more than moments, just tough situations. And he was in one and still is. And it was just very, and I'm sure for all Bear fans and just football fans and people just in life, to see people see other people like Steve go through what he's now going through is tough.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It is a difficult time. And Chris, you played with him at the same position. He kind of probably hazed you as you came into the league. So maybe, you don't like Steve. No, I'm kidding. I know you like Steve. Do you want to talk about him real quick? Did he smack you in the back of the head? Did he give you a mohawk? What did he do?
Sure. First of all, before I get started, I'm about to ask Shane if he's going to interrupt me.
Well, I can. The Saints have just drafted offensive tackle Trevor Penning.
Trevor Penning, University of Northern Iowa. The Northern Iowa kid goes before the Iowa Center.
Iowa Center.
Unbelievable.
What is going on with the world?
This is the best lineman in the draft, in my opinion, right there. But
what is going on with the world?
Look, he plays like 3 linemen. Look at that.
I think if he goes, he's going to go. I think there's an outside chance he goes to Cincy, but other than that, maybe
he could fall to the Bears.
Fall rich Chicago.
You will see me doing dances right here because I'm a huge fan of that kid. Iowa. But go ahead.
Well, I just want to make sure that Shane, we get for like the next minute and a half.
Tag it, bro. Thank you. Yes.
It's really interesting when you think about who the stars were on that 85 team.
Mm-hmm.
You think about Hampton, you think about Dent, Hartenstein, Singletary, Perry. I mean, you go down the list. And the one consistent is Steve McMichael. He was a great mentor for me, but I mean, selfishly, he was just a phenomenal player. And I think he was undrafted and he wound up making the team and just being a kick-ass son of a bitch. I mean, you want to talk about being a football player. It was interesting because when guys left after practice, guys left to go home, I remember numerous times Steve would look at me and kind of nod, and we like he wouldn't have to say anything. We would just go in the weight room and just start lifting. And this is after practice. And this dude was like, I don't know, 65, 70 years old. And here I am, this young buck who's like 21, 22. And I'm sitting there like, damn, is this what it takes to be in the league? And he wasn't a fast guy, but his first 2 steps, I mean, were just remarkable. Mm-hmm. And that's why he was so consistent over the years. And I was fortunate enough to play 3 years with him. and I learned so much. And it was just so funny because, I mean, you had him and you had William Perry, and you obviously couldn't move William, but the ability that Steve had was just amazing. And for him to be able to kind of spend some time with me, and he really, out of all the guys, I spent the most time with him because I don't know if he thought, because he was only like a half an inch taller than I am. So I don't know if we had that common 5'11", 5'10" defensive tackle thing going on, but the idea that he was willing to take all the time and really kind of show me the ropes was just amazing. And I mean, when you think about truly who the really kind of the Chicago Bears are, I mean, he by far is one of the best. And I'm not even talking about off the field stuff. I mean, just on the field, what he taught us in that defensive line room was just amazing. And God bless Richard Dent, great player. William Perry, great player. But when you think about kind of who put everything on the line every play, it was always Mongo.
There they are. Richard Dent, Chris Zorich, Steve McMichael, and Trace Armstrong right there.
And I think that was one of the games that we actually shut down Barry Sanders on Thanksgiving.
And that guy down there?
Did that ever happen?
One time.
Hold on, with any team.
And we wound up getting the John Madden turkey leg.
Oh, the turkey! All right,
that was a moment that
we do have evidence of that somewhere.
Phil, we have.
I do remember when 1 year in Detroit, myself, I think we won this game on Thanksgiving, but I do remember after one of the plays, it was a little dump off pass, and Barry goes about 50 yards with it. And at the end of the play, William Perry is sitting on me. Like, wouldn't get up. Like, there's a guy that would not chase the ball. That much I can tell you. And,
come on. We have a little bit of
breaking
news.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
Not only did the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Mitch Trubisky, they just drafted quarterback Kenny Pickett.
Look at
this.
this.
But that's not even the biggest breaking news. Erik Kramer is going to love this one. Remove the picture of Kenny Pickett. And this is for you, Mr. Kramer. Look at this.
There he is. He finally made it into your life.
my man.
How you doing? You know how much fun it is to try to put kids to sleep these days? It's so enjoyable. It's so enjoyable.
Really?
Yeah.
Lord Hans is here.
Cars, was it a matter of you just reading him a bedtime story? Did you drug their milk at night or something? How did you get him to go down?
I cannot confirm nor deny the use of a dear friend Jack to be a part of this whatsoever.
Unbelievable. Finally, you made it. Eric has been disappointed in you, Cars.
I'll just say I've been anticipating, and now my anticipation and waiting has paid off because there you are.
At the same moment, Kenny Pickett gets drafted. Kramer, Atoshin, Shane, is Kenny your number one too? Quarterback, or was it Corral?
I like Corral a little bit better.
Cars, are you a Corral or Pickett?
I actually liked Willis the most just because of his.
All right. We'll see you later then.
See you, Cars.
That'll be the earliest I get to go to bed on one of these things. I'm all in.
Get on this show, and then bam, gone.
Oh, jeez. So Pickett goes off. Trubisky, that's going to be a whole story.
Jermaine
Pickett,
Johnson
Trubisky.
still out there,
And
man.
here we are
is so
again. The
talented.
quarterback, Erik Kramer, our guy Bears nerd, Chris Zorich, myself, and the smartest man covering the draft. We got a lot of guests, a lot of things going on. We've announced Erik and Chris Zorich on TTNL Network in the fall. Kramer's QB School. Cars will also have a new show called Cars Keys. Isn't that creative, Chris? Doesn't take a Notre Dame education to come up with that one. No, we're excited. And then Zorich's Super 16 poll show. And let me bring on this guy, Chris and Erik, because this guy,
the Patriots just traded back.
That's good.
Not
Bill
sure
Parcells doesn't like
Has
stats.
any pick been made in the last 10 that has been to the original person? It feels like every single one of them has moved.
So what would we do if the Bears were on the clock? We'd get another "The Bears are on the clock" by Cars.
We got Cars comes on the show and things crazy happen. Kramer. Let me bring this guy though, Kramer.
Oh, well, we have
Chris Zorich.
Hold on. We got
Don't-
another screw up.
Here we go.
NFL Draft Diamonds is saying that the Patriots are actually staying and selecting Trent McDuffie, but we have a battle of the insiders. Ian Rappaport is saying that the Patriots are trading back. So
there we go.
All right. This guy is going to produce your intro songs. He's already produced the Super 16 poll show song, Chris, that you and I love so much. He's a musical genius, in my opinion. He's our guy, Cool Kennedy. And tomorrow night, we will be introducing our newest song, There's Hope. There he is. I wanted to get you on the show.
Hold on. It sounds like the Packers may have been the ones to move up here.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Don't mention the Packers when I come on.
It's actually the Chiefs are on the clock right now, according to Ian Rappaport.
Well,
the Patriots have
New
traded
England
back.
has traded the pick.
No, I think you guys are all wrong. I think it's actually the Bears. They actually traded up.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
They
yeah.
only
The,
did 17
the Bears
picks.
just took the punter.
Oh, jeez. Mike North would be
I
happy.
think we
I'll tell you
traded
that.
our whole draft for one
He's
punter.
the best punter I've ever seen.
With how bad we're going to be on offense, you might as well get a good punter to help our defense. And
That's the way to think forward, Cars.
Was the Hecker like a Hecker type punter, man? Like clutch shit, man.
Every punt 80 yards down at the 1. We're ready to do this.
There we go.
There's nothing better than field position.
I mean, there's a truth to that. You know what I mean?
Well, the
There's
best
a
ability is
smidgen.
availability. So the best position is field
Oh.
position.
The best position is field position.
Yeah.
Give me some fucking names.
These guys will tell you the best abilities is availability.
There you go. They'll tell you. The nerds will tell. Our nerd is here, but we love him, so we won't bust his shot. But I wanted to bring you on, Cool Kennedy, to meet the guys. You're gonna have a task to do. Kramer's
Definitely.
QB school.
Okay.
We're gonna see what you come up with there, and obviously, Chris. I remember Zorich calling me after I've sent him the song. And I go, you like this? And he's like in shock. Like, do I like it? Fucking love it.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know, music connects with everybody, and especially in the weight room when you're football. When you're playing football, music is a lot of the inspiration. So like,
It's
that's what I think
to
about.
Kansas City, Phil.
What's
Kansas
that?
City went corner. Trent McDuffie.
Trent McDuffie out of Washington.
That was
That
smart.
should be that. That should be.
That's
the
a
start
good
of that
football
run.
player. He's
Yeah,
a good football player.
That was smart on their part.
And
They
now the hated Green Bay
Packers.
are on the clock.
Let's go
Hopefully they need a
fullbacks.
punter. No, they do need a punter. They signed Pat O'Donnell.
What if they go quarterback? What if they go quarterback?
That would be glorious.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Sign of the times.
That
Sign
would
of the
be
times.
tremendous. The only well, at least Traylon.
Well, we know they're not
Burks
going to go
is
receiver.
Yeah. Another corner, maybe.
You just jinxed it, Kramer.
Re-
Please.
George Pickens has been tied here to Green Bay earlier.
Listen, if they take George Pickens, I think the George Pickens I see will show up there and will be better for it. The guy who's fighting on the field, a little selfishness with Pickens. That's why I pushed him. There's no question he's got great talent. I'm not saying that, but
I have thicker legs than him, which is not saying a whole.
Kramer Cavlis. He's got a new nickname, Cavlis.
Right.
Thinking about Carr's thick legs, man. Pause. You know,
You can cut that right there. I want that at 22, 25, 25. We're grabbing that, man.
Well, last year when Cars came onto the show, that's what she said.
I mean, Adam Schefter reporting quarterbacks still on the board. It's time for one to be traded up for.
Here we
Chicago's
go.
trading up.
Yes!
What?
Oh my
Here
God.
it is!
Schefter just reported.
Here it is!
Oh, baby.
Let's go!
Oh.
Here we go, baby!
It's
So we want
official. Chicago Bears select quarterback Justin
There it was last year. Tomorrow night, maybe tonight. That's a good time. I mean, that feeling of the collaboration. I know we've talked about this many times, but
It lasted until the Browns game.
All the disrespect we showed to poor Nick Foles in that
unbelievable. That's what this network's about, though. You know, you talk about the Chicago Bears culture, and I won't share some of the stories, and I don't want them to have to, but it hasn't been good. And these guys can attest to that. And Ryan Pace, Phil Emery, Mark Trestman, and go on down the line, just never, ever understood that the Bears, I'm in Connecticut, Shane is in upstate New York, and we understand it better than I think the ownership understand. And that, to me, is the epic disappointment, the sin. If you're more concerned about the everlasting dollar bill when you've already got George McDuck, whatever his name was, the duck swimming in the gold. That's how I see the McCaskies. Now you got to start worrying about football. And hopefully Ryan Poles, with the offensive line background and the college scouting and the story in above itself, if we step back and think about it, guys.
The Green Bay Packers have selected linebacker Quay Walker.
Quay Walker.
Yeah. That's been the rumor that he was going to be the first linebacker off the board.
Yeah, because there's concern. There's not to, it didn't play out too much, but there's also been concern with Nakobe Dean not being able to work out, and that the medicals are a little bit more serious than previously thought.
That's where I thought they were going to go, honestly.
Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't.
They're worried about Justin Fields, man. We got him sweating. Man.
Nakobe Dean has been connected to New England also. So you see New England drop back, get some compensation. They may feel a little bit more comfortable about taking Nakobe Dean a little bit later with him falling, getting the extra picks, and that may justify the move down. So that is a great point, Eric.
Here we go, though. Finishing the thought off, the Chicago Bears finally got a guy, I believe, in the story, like I was saying, undrafted, he went to the final cut of the team. He's now the GM. You wouldn't even believe that story if it was a movie in Hollywood. No fucking way. Now he's risen to become the GM now tomorrow night, or maybe tonight, because Cars is here. That we're going to see the Chicago Bears go on the clock to see behind the curtain of talk. We saw Larry Ogunjobi and them make a smart decision not to sign a guy that's injured. But here we're going to see this is the GM and every focus. There's no bigger draft The NBA drafts can't even hold a candle to this. The Major League Baseball and their 577 rounds can't. This is where America and the world is watching. So imagine the amount of pressure on Ryan Poles that's going to be here tomorrow night at 39. I know I'm tuning into this network. That's all, because I'll be on it. But
the Buffalo Bills are now on the clock after a trade up, Phil.
Trade up again.
The Buffalo Bills. And they, believe it or not, they were tied to make a stunning pick in round 1. I don't think they'll do it. I could see them pulling off who's the best available, and Jermaine Johnson.
Pick?
I think they're a running back away.
They were connected to Breece Hall in round 1 from Iowa State.
This it? They're trading up.
How
this Breece?
They could.
This is a weird draft.
How do you pass up Jermaine Johnson, man? Here, I couldn't do it myself, but
I have
a
Jermaine
deep draft at
over
running back.
Thibodeau too.
Yeah, me too.
But the Giants selected him, and we'll see how his career plays out. Will he be the next Deion Jordan, like you said, or is he going to showcase who he is? I mean, he has to prove that, to Chris Zorich's point. Chris, there was no questioning his talent. I think, when he was injured, that has to go into the equation in Thibodeau, as well as I believe the stories and the concerns are real when it comes to, I'm going to go to where the brand is, and that's Nike. That doesn't sit well with me, but hey, I could be wrong. That's the one thing about we always are transparent about. I don't get to sit down with Erik Kramer or Chris Zorich, the player, and interview them, because that little piece, that's why I get so disappointed in these GMs. Like, how can't you tell? Like, coach, you're a coach, Erik. So when you sit down with these young men, you get a real sense of who they are, as well as at crossroads, I call it, where they can go or where they can go. You know what I'm saying? And you have that opportunity to be there to help them and change it, but you also know who's sitting across the table. And that's where I get disappointed in the NFL. And I think that has a lot to do with those billionaire owners that think they know and force whatever name is going to be great on the newspaper tomorrow instead of getting the real football players. But you talk about it.
Well, I think just, this is coaching high school quarterbacks right now and offensive players. And you get a sense, based on what I'm seeing, how hard are you willing to work for it? And I tell them, I go, you can tell me you work at it, but I can see day to day you don't. So, when we're not together, I can tell what you are or aren't doing.
Exactly.
And it's revealing in a way that you're thinking, you can tell me all you like. I asked a couple of them, I go,
cornerback. I didn't play that. I didn't step on. So don't yell at me, Chris. That wasn't me.
Well, I was the one talking, so Chris is fine with it.
Buffalo goes cornerback, Kaiir Elam. I believe this guy up here that just popped out was the culprit.
Just following my instructions when the pick comes.
Zorich, I'll send you his home address there.
Hey, he just does what his job is to do.
That's what he's coached to do.
Yes. And you still have your thought.
Thought. Yeah.
So to finish off, I'll just say that, you can, I would ask him, like, if you're me watching you, would you think
yes
you're working at this?
Yes,
exactly.
So, that's why I was saying earlier on, if you're drafting, it's not recruiting, you're drafting people. So you can tell, hopefully over the course of this, by talking to coaches of that guy or just interviewing that person. Is that the kind of guy that's self-motivated? Because if so, that's the guy you want. You don't want someone that's chasing, am I going to the right school because of the brand? You play, and the brand will find you. How about that?
Exactly. There you go. There you go. Spoken like a coach. Zorich is pontificating his comeback here.
Well, like they say, those that can do, those that can't teach.
And those that can't teach Jim. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Or that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Someone's got to play dodgeball, for God's sake.
Hello.
Our other guest left. I was about to introduce him, and he's not in his seat. But I'll wait for him to come on. Looking at this cornerback gets picked by the Buffalo Bills, Shane. Elam. I didn't have
I have McCreary from Auburn over Elam on mine.
Me too.
People want to kill him for his arms, and all I know is he went up against Alabama and he was whooping everybody's ass.
Yeah.
I mean,
Zorich loves those guys.
Well, Phil, I talked to you about McCreary earlier. I mean, I understand the offensive needs of Chicago, but I also think that there's a big need there. I don't think you can ever have enough cover corners, and Roger McCreary to me is number 2. He's my number 2 corner in the entire draft.
I'm with you there.
Yep.
Stingley is my number 1. Is that yours?
No.
Who's your number 1?
Wait, who did I have? Let me see here. Jesus, let me bring it up here. I'm sorry. I should have been prepared. Talk and I'll bring it up. My phone.
No, we're going to let you work this.
Real quick, is Derek Stingley, is he related to Daryl Stingley?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe that's his son. Yes.
Wow.
His grandfather.
No, his grandfather.
Yeah, it was his grandfather. And George Pickens is Carl Pickens' son.
Yes.
Right.
You had Sauce, your number 1? The kids?
Yes.
Okay. I'm afraid of Sauce.
Yeah,
I'm afraid of that kid. There's some. Listen, I guess that's just the coach in me. I just don't like overly flamboyant. I don't like to take away from the team. I don't like that kind of person that's going to, be that kind of Deion Sanders.
So apparently you wouldn't have drafted Deion.
I would not have drafted Deion. I think Deion had 11 tackles in his career. I wouldn't.
But in this
probably
day and
take it.
age, you got to deal with that.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
I would deal with it.
You're
gonna drop that shit when you walk in the door. I said, I want you to become the person you should be.
We're dealing with it now.
That's why you build a strong locker room so you can handle a couple of eggheads. You just can't have a locker room full of eggheads.
We're dealing with it now. Eddie Jackson, man.
Yeah.
Those
types.
I think he just needs. I talked about this earlier. I obviously followed Eddie through Alabama. I think Eddie needs to be coached hard and needs to be held accountable by the coach, and he has not been under Matt Nagy. He decided that he didn't want to tackle in Alabama, and I know that it's easier in Alabama because you're just bringing in a 5-star to replace him. But Saban told him, "You're my captain. If you're not going to tackle, you're not going to fucking play." And he benched him.
And you remember that quote that Eddie had when he first started the league? And they asked him, they said, "How's the practice? First season practicing." Oh, Alabama's way harder.
Yeah.
What? That's already the problem.
When he came back, he got back on the field for Saban, and it made a difference. And then unfortunately, he ended up breaking his leg, fell in the draft because he got that rod inserted. But he has not. Everybody knows that the BU philosophy, and the BU philosophy was not accountability. I mean,
exactly.
Chris and Erik, you guys can talk on this. I called Phil immediately when I heard this live on air when Matt Nagy said, "Yeah, we were having our end of year meetings with the players." And he's like, "I had a bunch of players come up to me and say, 'Coach, I really think that we need to be held accountable in team meetings when the tape is up.'" And Matt Nagy's like, it's a great idea. And I said to Phil, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How is this not happening?
We couldn't believe it. We could not.
He goes, "So this is something that we're seriously going to consider." And I'm like,
and this is something you have to look at with this team, man. Like this team, you add on a real coaching staff. How many more wins do we have last year? Just replace the coaching staff. How many more wins do we have last year?
I always say this
with 3 fucking starting quarterbacks. Technically, you know what I mean? Like
we would have had one if we had a real coach, though. Like it would have been Fields from the start. Nobody else would have touched. There would have been a competition.
There would have been like quarterback competition. This guy, I don't even want to go down this road, but it is obviously a chapter in this franchise's history now, maybe even more. It's a huge letdown, but the guy was not a head coach, and the GM, Ted Phillips, and the guy who's just a fan couldn't get in an interview and sit across the table and do what Erik Kramer just did and see the person. That to me is the problem. Now they solve him. They brought in a Hall of Famer, like him, love him, or hate him. Bill Polian has done this before. And I'll just speak this truth. Sam Rutigliano, my uncle, was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He said to me, Ernie Accorsi is a fucking shoe salesman. He is nothing more than a football writer who got in a position and was with George Young. He's not a football guy. Bill Polian is a football guy. He'll help the Chicago Bears. Here we are. Now we'll get to see. Is Ryan Poles the answer? I know this. My boy Chris Zorich is an answer on this network. Chris, I know you've given us a lot of time tonight, more than I thought you were going to be here on the
This is more than Chris thought he was going to be here.
Exactly.
He's just taking notes on everything.
It's not cocktail, right? You said one cocktail.
What you sipping on? What you sipping on, Zorich? What's that? Real quick. What is that?
What is that drink?
Jack and Diet.
There you go.
Isn't it Coke Zero? Is it Coke Zero?
That's fire. Coke Zero is good.
Coke Zero. A lot of people don't know what Coke Zero is yet.
Oh, Jesus. Don't tell Claudio. What? He'll come crash through your door.
You've got a new roommate coming your way.
Claudio the barber.
Cherry Coke Zero. He came in real quick, Chris.
Real quick.
He lives by me. He comes into the house. All of a sudden, I had like a case. I'm down to 4. I'm like, where did all the Coke? He's blaming my sons and shit.
Oh, man. Dallas Cowboys on the clock, and they have just made their selection. Bit of a shocker here.
Is it? Who is it? Quick.
From Tulsa. Lineman, Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith.
The ultimate ball of clay. Extremely raw. Oh, man, is there a full toolbox?
There was a thread today that Kuiper had I think it was Kuiper that had predicted this, and that got tweeted out, and Cowboy fans absolutely melted down at the thought of it.
Oh, no.
Which just makes me so happy that it wasn't us.
Listen, Chris Zorich. Check out his podcast, the Zorich Podcast. You can follow that on YouTube, as well as follow him on his socials. And he's also here, a part of our network, on the Super 16 Poll Show with Chris Zorich. That'll be kicking off when college football season. You hear the bands going.
Did you guys ever find out who was sneaking in and putting Alabama stuff up on your show before you guys started? I'm not sure who that was.
All right, you have to say, Cool Kennedy, thank you so much for that incredible intro. That was awesome.
Thank you, man.
I'm excited about it. However, were you responsible for the first one that went?
No, he was not. That was our guy, Ron G, and he promises he's sending you the CD.
Just making sure. I just need a little bit more bass.
With the flute.
Right, exactly.
76
the flute section.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
It was one of those 1920s.
I don't think it was a flute. I think it was a piccolo or something.
Oh, piccolo, yeah.
It was that bad.
Chris Zorich was doing the Walter Payton high step. He was like,
guys, thank you very much.
All right.
Unlike Phil, I have not finished packing. So I have to get back to finish unpacking. So
yes, I'm still unpacking, bro. Come on.
Hey man, this is like
I'm not even in my studio.
You got to get Zorich a nice flag in the back. This is a nice white wall flag.
Dude, it's not even a wall. It's like I'm in the attic. Like I have like this much room. This is crazy.
No, we love you. And thank you for jumping on and breaking down the draft with former teammates. They got teammates on the network. Now we're all teammates.
Got to get his gut. What's your gut feel, Chris?
Yeah,
39 Bears.
39. Gun to your head, Chris.
I'm a D lineman, man. You know, I mean, I'm gonna have to go.
Give us some Notre Dame guy that is not going to get drafted, but Notre Dame.
Now he's talking shit. Wow.
Maybe we can have a bet here where you're at some point when you lose something, you'll have to sing the NC State Pie song. How about that? We'll have to give you the words first. I don't even know what it is.
All right. Well, I think we're going to be on the same network, so I think we'll have a chance to. We're going to have a chance
bring
to
them
challenge
on.
each other.
Yes.
Of course.
No, but
Chris,
I want to
you
say,
Go ahead.
O-lineman. I love this center from Iowa. I just hope he doesn't drop that far. That's all.
Yeah, for him and his family, you're saying.
Exactly. I think he's a great player. Phil, you and I talked about this. Like literally, at one point, he was like the only thing that actually made him successful at one point.
Oh my God, he was dominant. And
so if the Bears get him,
that bowl game, Marquand McCall, I told you the 7th round, he dominated in that bowl game. He handled him. Linderbaum. He handled
a couple plays. There's
plays.
Other tape out there that shows
No. Just stick to the highlight reel. That was a domination.
Hey, you know what?
Some nerd cut 3 plays and said the whole game was that.
I heard a rumor.
Go
the tape
ahead.
never lies. I don't know.
That's exactly right.
That's why I never went 2 for 10 in a basketball game. I was 2 for 2. I just cut away the other 8.
Let's play him out, ladies and gentlemen.
Be good.
Wait. Is that George's high school fight song?
Wait, this is the LSU fight song, isn't it?
Hey, I was giving you love tonight. Come on.
There he is. Chris Zorich. God bless you, Chris.
All right, folks, be good.
Love
you. Bears.
Take
Go
care.
Bears. Chris Zorich of the Tape Never Lies Network. I love him. 4'6", 540 coming out of Notre Dame. Don't forget that. The defensive tackle. Speaking of, I think he ran faster than Chris Zorich. Let's bring in our next guest from Sean and Maya, our friend of the network, friend of me and Shane. Here he is, the superback, Sean Sierra. What's up, Sean?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Hey,
Mr.
Man, I'm excited with the every time I don't hear a wide receiver taken, I get more and more excited. That was a little
right.
That was a scary run that they had right there. That was scary.
Who do you got, Sean? Who's the one receiver that you're hoping for? Or is there several, but number one?
Well, the number one was taken. That was Williams. I was hoping his ACL would have the medicals, but he was like Jalen Smith from Dallas, from Notre Dame. Remember when Dallas took him? I think he was in a wheelchair when they took him, and I was hoping so. So Williams is gone, but there's a couple I like. I love Pierce. I love Christian Watson. Then there's a couple other guys like Calvin Austin, but I want them later in the round, like the 4th or 5th. We're gonna have a 4th, but later on. But the good thing about it is that because of the extra year of eligibility due to COVID, there's a hell of a lot more talent. So there's a lot more wide receivers, a lot more offensive linemen, a lot more because they had an extra year and people were smart. They stayed in. Now there's an overflow. So I think we're going to get a good guy. If I had to take my druthers right now, it's between, you know what? Give me some fucking names. Heads for Alec Pierce, tails for Christian Watson. Tails, Christian Watson.
Oh, he's going Watson. I'm going Pierce in that situation. Let's go around the horn. I know. Let's go with our guy, Cavs himself. What are you thinking here? Pierce or Watson?
You can't go wrong. I'll take Watson.
You're going with Sierra. So 1-2 for Watson. Shane, I know where you're going. Oh, you're muted. So your voice.
Fucking Zorich muted me on the way out.
As a tip.
No, I would be all in. I would be all in on Pierce over Watson. I like a lot of the traits that Watson has, but it's just I'm a little iffy on him. I'm not all in on Christian Watson.
I like Watson.
If they're both there, to me, it's Pierce all day for me.
Cool Kennedy.
I would say Pierce, and the reason is because we need that balance. He's a blocking receiver. You got Mooney. You got another slot that I think someone else could play slot, but I think Alec Pierce. He's a big body. Pause, and then he can move people around. You've seen him block. You've seen him block.
Breaking news. Sorry, Cool Kennedy. The Baltimore Ravens pick is in, and they have taken offensive lineman from Iowa.
Oh my mother!
Tyler
God,
Linderbaum.
Smart.
These
smart,
guys just do it better.
Do you remember what I said about Baltimore? They
Yes.
manipulate the board, and then you're like, how the fuck did they get that guy?
They're smart. That's smart. That's smart.
Do you think so? That's the kind of guy that just fucking
And
takes
they got a
that
first-round draft pick. For
3-tech.
Brown.
He got a first-round pick for Brown, and he takes the 3-tech, moves him, and gets on the backer, and the running back is down. This guy was one of the most. This is my passion, offensive line. I'll go in the ring with anybody on the offensive line play. Linderbaum, that's an A+ for the Ravens. He's that dominant. Give me 48 plays of him and watch him beat the shit out of everybody. Everybody's going to lose. Everybody's
could be the
gonna
next
lose.
Hilgenberg.
Exactly.
Right?
You know what? Now that I even see his name with the Ravens, like I'm looking at his name next to the Baltimore Ravens, it looks like it's supposed to be there. You know what I mean?
Don't they always do that? I always feel like. What was the Samoan they got? That big deep. What was his name? Cars.
Haloti.
Haloti. Like Haloti Nada. I'm like, oh
Linderbaum
my.
just reached.
Can
for
we ever
his
have a
water bottle on
Haloti
the coffee
Nada?
table film? Couldn't reach it, so that might be an issue.
Oh man, the Ravens get rich again. Good.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's great. Perfect
And
fit there.
Zorich got his wish for the kid.
Yeah.
Even though we were hoping he would
Jets
fall
have
to the
just
Chicago
traded
Bears.
back into the first round again.
Who did?
Oh boy,
Jacksonville. Oh, the
Look
Jets.
at this guy. I mean, I'm watching his highlights here. He takes the nose man from Penn State 14 yards down the field. He comes out on a trap play on a pull where he's got a quarterback underneath him, not like a shotgun snap.
Right.
And he pulls out and kicks out the fucking linebacker and knocks him ass over T-cap. This guy is everything. It's like Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. The guy in the draft right there just went to the Ravens. There you go.
Damn.
All right. Now, Bears nerd.
Hey,
Pierce
we'll
or
have
Watson?
our day tomorrow. Don't worry.
Yes, we will.
Pierce or Watson, Mister?
I would go. To me, Watson is the bigger ceiling, and so I think we see from the size, speed, and everything else. So to me, it's going to be Watson.
Ryan Pace is on the clock. I mean, I get it. You love those
Watson
ceilings.
has great get off.
He's got great, higher ceilings. Fucking Chris Zorich' ceilings right here. I mean,
but he's been an ass.
Well, don't forget the one thing. Don't forget, North Dakota State did a lot of running, so he's a blocker.
Yes.
He's not. I mean, as much as you can say about Alec Pierce is a good blocker, and he is. You have to say the same thing about him because he's Christian Watson is another phenomenal blocker. We've seen tape on that too. I like his shiftiness. Like not only is he 6'4", can run by you in a heartbeat and outleap you like a 40-inch vert, but his shiftiness, his lateral movement, it's not like a Tyreek Hill or Tariq Cohen before the surgery, but it's for a guy that tall to have the shiftiness that he does. It to me is what's going to be is what I like. And don't get me wrong, either one I would be happy with. But you put a gun in my head, I'd take Christian Watson.
Not sure if this is a great sign, but Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson just sent out a tweet immediately after the pick that says, "What the fuck?"
Whoa.
It's always fun.
It's always good when you trade away my wide receiver.
I took a screenshot of that before it's promptly deleted here in a few seconds, I'm sure.
So that might mean that he just likes his center. You know what I mean? Like
I think it could be a little bit late too with trading
Brown.
his
I think
trading
someone's
his boy Marquise.
taking a screenshot and seeing Marquise Brown, and they're trying to play it on.
No,
Linder.
it was a legit tweet.
Yeah, Jermaine Johnson.
Was it at
by
the time?
Jets.
Yeah, 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I think you're right.
Okay.
I think it was about the Hollywood Brown.
Yeah,
he could be out playing bowling. Who knows?
So we actually retweeted something there of someone going, "I can't believe they traded away Hollywood," and he retweeted that, and then it was right after the Linder. He was looking for a wideout. He was looking for someone.
Right.
And
so that's why he plays quarterback. That guy's going to help him continue his career longer. So he'll have some explaining to do later on that. I'm going Pierce because if you talk upside, I see a guy with a 40.5-inch vert and at 4.37 speed and blocks the way he does. I mean, yes, Watson can block, but he can't block like this guy. I mean, this guy has a prideful, aggressive ability. And then at the stem, I just see a guy that makes play. He's a football player. He runs the route tree. He's a great actor. When you talked about Jeff Graham, that's what I see in this kid, Pierce. I like the way he's able to stick and get that position against the defender. He does it time and again. The questions are in his production with a guy like Ritter, but I look at it and I watch him and I get excited. And I think to Cool Kennedy's point, something I said as well yesterday, and I think it might have been Shane as well. When you look at Mooney, Pringle, and then you get this monster, I think I like that kind of setup more so than I do
dynamics.
Yeah. The Jalen isn't as twitchy at the break. He's got freakish ability. He could be with better coaching. And the other thing about Watson that is against him is that, listen, the quarterback play was awful at North Dakota State. So
just terrible.
This is a great argument. This is a great argument. 3-on-3. 3-on-3. Do we want to bring Bratcher or Jackal in to break this tie?
I don't know who
Which one do you want?
Bratcher
The rookie or the veteran?
We have another trade.
Shane?
Jacksonville has just traded up, and they are now on the clock.
This has got to be.
Well, Jermaine Johnson's coming off the board here. Just came off the board officially.
The
to
Jets.
The Jets.
The Jets, yes. Who do you want, Shane?
Wide receiver?
A rookie or Jackal to break this tie?
Oh, we got to bring in the grizzled vet. Jackal deserves it.
There he is.
Fuck
There he
Bratcher.
is.
He's new.
So I can't.
He's carrying our pads and getting us donuts. He's not coming on the
I'll take a strawberry frosted, I guess.
Who do you got, Jackal? Break the tie, Pierce or Watson?
I like Watson.
There you go. He's team Superback Kramer.
Right. Like I was saying, Bratcher, welcome to this show.
Y'all up and say. Oh man, I'm gonna fuck you all up, and I'm gonna go Pierce. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Oh,
now we're back to a tie.
All right, let's bring Zorich back.
Get Zorich on the phone.
I don't think Zorich could name a wide receiver in this year's draft.
that
so-
coin?
He
Flip that
knows. He
coin.
knows.
Yeah.
He likes Pierce. I will tell you that.
I think we
I
got to
know
do
that.
this.
Surprise.
All right, let's don't bring Zorich back then.
You guys surprised that Devontae Wyatt is still hanging around out here?
I can't
The
get
three
over.
technique, baby.
I still can't get over Hollywood Brown being worth
Oh my God.
this much more than AJ. Like I cannot get over that. That one is blowing my mind still.
I don't get it.
Sherry's asking, can her vote count? Sherry's asking, can her vote count?
Yeah,
of course.
Let's get it popping. Let's
Here
get
she
it popping.
goes. Cherie, you are going to be the deciding vote, Cherie. What is it going to be?
Remember, I'm your favorite, though. That's
She
all I
takes
can
Watson.
Okay.
Cherie.
That's what I get for not whispering during her reads. She's
Cherie.
I was positive she was going to go.
I
Blake
thought
Bortles.
she was totally with
She was
me.
going Blake Bortles. I thought
we got
but-
Barlissimo.
Barlissimo wants to
his
get
count-
your vote.
Oh, he's Pierce. He's all Pierce.
He's going to bounce it out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Barlissimo.
Doesn't count games called.
He's trying to call the game.
It's like a tennis. It's like a tennis match. Jesus Christ!
I saw he went to sleep. I thought now he's up. Good night, folks. He said.
The chat.
Here he is. He's back. Where's your vote, Barlissimo? 3, 2, 1.
Watson, it is. All right. So moving on.
He doesn't. He plays.
Of course.
A
Surprise.
British humor.
surprise.
British humor there, guys.
So here's an interesting question that we can take around the panel here. Cars, I'll start with you down in the corner.
Yes.
At this point, you're at 27. Is there anybody left that you would be willing to give draft compensation away for to move up?
No, I think the way the draft has fallen so far, there's just absolutely no reason to. You're going to give up probably more than you should in value to do it. So no, no.
Sean,
Oh hell no!
Yep.
There's too much talent from what I said before, because a lot of people came back in for an extra year of eligibility. There's an overflow of talent. Unless there was one guy who falls, 6-8 picks ahead, but that's got to be that one guy is going to be the game breaker. And right now, my guy was Williams. No, stay pat. Don't trade up. If anything, trade back for your second pick to get extras if you can, because there's so much talent. So no, to answer your question, to make it a short answer long, no.
So
No.
the Jaguars have traded up, landing the 27th pick and sending the 33rd, the 106th, and 180th to Tampa.
And with that pick, they are taking linebacker Devin Lloyd.
Yep.
Haven't hit a Devin White. Jesus Christ.
And he's an older. He's 24, maybe be 25 in season.
He's going to be 25.
Almost like drafting a running back and saying he's solely in the end of the first round and solely saying he was going to be a slot wide receiver. Oh, wait, that's what they did last year. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Packers
That
are
is
back
true.
on the clock, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Who they pay? Who they taking a receiver here?
Yeah, they're taking Watson.
I think you're right.
So
I hope they take Watson.
they were
not
connected
Pierce.
I brought it up at 22. They were connected to Pickens, believe it or not. But it's going to be
this could be
interesting.
Pickens.
Would
Who does Aaron like most is going to be this pick. I
Not his
believe.
mom.
Is this
Not his mother.
Or his brother.
is this the makeup pick? Are they
Or anyone in
making
his
up?
family.
Are they making up for last year's disappointment? They have come to an agreement for his big time contract. Right now, all his boys have left town.
Yep.
So that is a story right here. This guy is a malcontent. Shane's joke is the truth. I've said it many times. Anybody that disowns their parents, you got to think about that. Like, take a step back. Now, some parents are shitty, as Jackal and I know.
Yeah.
And not our parents, but
I was gonna
get
say,
it.
Coach O just left the network.
Exactly. You may want to just elaborate on that a little bit, Phil. Yeah.
knock on the door outside
Child
Phil's house
protection
right
agency
now.
that we work for.
Phil, can you hear me? This is your dad speaking.
Phil's been grounded. Give me that phone, Phil.
My dad was knocking on the door. Like, right
that
when
was
I
awesome.
Oh, that was perfect time drop there. But yeah, the guy is a malcontent. No questioning the talent and the envy of some simply effortless dime balls. This guy, Erik, you could speak on, Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he is a rival, and it's unfortunate for us to see it. But Erik, do you have any good things or bad things to say about Aaron Rodgers? From Cali as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, right. No, nothing but good things. He's a great quarterback. Probably one of the best ever. And I think that we'll probably see here whether he actually did make up with the decision makers there in Green Bay on this next pick.
This is it. We hope.
Something tells me not so much.
Yeah, that was more of a we have to, or the fans will riot.
Can you imagine if they took Malik Willis? That would be the greatest.
That would be fabulous.
That would be the greatest moment.
Dude, he'd have the biggest fit ever.
Oh my God.
At the next Milwaukee Bucks game, he'd have a fit.
He'll only go on McAfee tomorrow to talk about
He's
it.
on right now, or he's been on.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Was
He'll
he?
find a kid to throw a ball at too. I'm sure.
Yeah.
There.
Call him an asshole while he's doing it.
Grab
Right?
the basketball. And throw
Dude,
it.
how did anybody see? I thought that was a joke. It was really him throwing a fucking ball at a kid because he intercepted him.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, maybe he'll think twice about intercepting the ball next time.
Yeah, that's right.
Well played.
Oh my God. Erik Kramer is with us tonight. He's a new host of a show on our network, Kramer's QB School. It's going to be amazing here. We're super excited about it. Erik's in Vegas. You're going to the after party tonight, right? The draft.
That's
after
right.
party?
That's right. Yep.
You spent the whole. Do you have to?
We'll see who. What's that?
Do you have to leave now? Because we've kept you on all night on your inaugural appearance as a member of the team, but we can let you go if you have to go.
Well, I think I'm having more fun here than I'd have at the party anyway. So we're good.
That's why cars keep blowing you off. I love that about you.
So the
cars that kid you. I
can't hear you. What?
Cars is just hey.
Wow.
The show's gotten so big. Cars is just big time to me.
The pick is in, and they have went with defensive lineman from Georgia.
Wow.
Another Wyatt.
They went Wyatt.
Yeah.
The 3-tech.
Dude.
Wow.
Rodgers is gonna have a bitch fit. He's gonna have a BF. He's gonna have a BF. He's about to have a BF. Oh my God.
They honestly
love the player, but wow. Yeah.
Wow. Kenny Clark there. And you got that football team. I mean, Kenny Clark and him, and that's a tough combination.
Banged up a little bit here and there, Kenny Clark has, but you can't.
Now they're gonna go. Now they're gonna try to win this thing with defense.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a philosophy switch. You can feel that philosophy switch, man. Like they're trying something new, but they're scared of. I'm telling you, we got them scared, man. Justin Fields.
The Patriots are back on the clock, and Erik, this could be. I know he's been connected to them. That could be it could be the linebacker too. They've been connected in the
Kobe Dean.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that's a Bill Belichick type pick there, and
that would make sense.
That gets you. Nakobe Dean to me is tremendous at inside linebacker. Yep. I had a higher grade. I had a higher grade with him than I did Roquan, to be truthful with you guys. That's how much I think of this guy.
Oh, wow,
Shane's
really?
talking.
Yeah,
yes,
Rodgers is live right now.
Shane talked about the medical that pushed him down. No one cares, Chris. You've totally dropped the ball there. No one cares. You're going to send people away from our show to go watch Aaron. Thank you. Take it back.
Give us some good audio.
Give it some fucking names.
All I'm trying to say is he's not exactly pleased, Phil. So
is
that's
he?
all I was trying
that's
to say.
what I want to hear.
Your pipe and smoke it, motherfucker.
That's what I want to hear.
You're on the air, baby. You're on.
He's pissed off right before Mother's Day, so it's perfect. It's a perfect
time. Listen, I'm sure he wanted a receiver. Watson's still out there. Pierce. These are guys, obviously, I believe all of us here are looking at 39. Has everybody gone on the record who they want at 39 as we get closer to the end of this draft? We've heard from
I gotta monitor Peter Bukowski's timeline here real quick.
He flip-flop cars. You're looking at it. Last night you had your mock draft. Last year you called it correctly. You traded up. You got Justin Fields last year. You actually passed over because you were thinking like the Bears. You passed over our guy, Mac Jones, for Justin Fields. This year, Jalen Watson you selected last night. Actually, the computer selected it, but it was you communicating with the computer. But that's who you would have picked as well. Is that who you're eyeballing as we get closer to the end of this?
You know, the hardest part for me is I think it's looking more like if he's there, Logan Hall is probably going to be a guy that they would pick just with the way that it's floating.
It's Eberflus's DeForest Buckner. We talked about it last night. I really, truly believe that it's a guy that's going to give you
6'6", 283.
Put him up and down the line, and we weren't telling Bears fans to just sit back and Twitter's going to melt down. The Bears beat reporters are going to melt down if it's not offense at 39. And we've been trying to prepare people. It's just the NFL draft.
These guys have done it every year to me, guys. I'm just letting you know. Since Kramer was playing, these two have said, Phil, you're not going to get your guy. They're going to take Curtis Enos. Watch.
Most upset I've ever been in the NFL draft.
Oh, my God. Randy Moss was there for the taking,
They
guys.
were going to take him. They were going to take him.
All
He
they
couldn't
had to
get out of
do-
bed.
All he had to do was have breakfast. Who the fuck skips breakfast with Walter Payton? That's
2 hours, 2 hours late. Can you imagine that? I mean,
only Randy Moss. The story would be so
Randy
much
probably didn't even know who Walter Payton was.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Granted-
All they had to do is show up at Yoke together.
Can you imagine
get
that?
the pancakes.
Right.
We missed out on the Steve Stenstrom to Randy Moss combo, guys. I mean,
Oh, that would have been epic for a 7.5 yards per reception. It would have been just amazing.
Oh my God. Jesus. Moses Moreno outside, just a bit outside. Poor Eric, you were so accurate.
Big news here. This is
Bears have traded up.
TTNL Network news. A guy that we interviewed on Draft
Wow.
and I, New England Patriots.
Wow.
Patriots, Cole Strange.
Now you can
Huge
link up
fan
with
of the
him.
guy.
Wow.
Listen, I talked to
This guy's a freaking prick.
I talked
He's
to
one of those
Nagy, the
guys.
Senior Bowl director, Phil. I told you.
Yes.
He told me privately, and I'll share it now. I know I shared it on the network, that he believes for his money that Cole Strange will be a better NFL center than Tyler Linderbaum.
I said he was smoking that Matt Nagy wacky tobacco, but Cole Strange to the Patriots. Listen, they just coach those fundamentals. When you watch the New England Patriots play the game, the inner game, the game up front, as Eric was talking about, Jay Hilgenberg's game, going up there, combo.
You better have that TTNL hoodie on when he jumps up before he puts that Patriots hat on.
The tape never lies on me, bitch. That's what he should say when he walks in there. Because Bill Belichick and Parcells come from that same tree. What do they say? They look at the tape. They don't give a fuck about what, Shane. They don't care about what, Shane. Where is it? Where is he?
I'm sorry, man. I was updating stuff. I didn't even hear what you said.
They don't care about.
You know how I feel about stats. Really, stats are for losers. Final scores for winners, and that's really what it's about.
And
There
John Wood just kicked his dog.
Well, they got their guy Cole Strange. Great interview if you haven't seen it with Berlissimo and Shane Marsaw on our network. Our
Great
Patreon
guy
stuff. Got to check it out. Cole Strange is a a tough son of a bitch, as my father.
One of the
would
best questions we asked him at the end of the interview when we do our little fun questions, we asked him Tupac or Biggie, and he said, I think Kenny Chesney. So that speaks
gotta
to
respect
Cole
that.
is, yeah.
You gotta respect that,
He
man.
likes what he likes.
Yeah.
He likes what he likes. Listen, we're getting to the end of the draft here. There's a few picks left. Tomorrow night, I would be remiss. We're gonna open the show with David Kaplan jumping on the show to get us kicked off. He might be on when the Bears are on the clock. He'll be on about 8:30 East, jumping on with us. We also have Matt Waldman coming on to look at what the Bears did, as well as Adam Rank of the NFL Network, and our guy from the Under Center podcast, Kenneth Davis, is going to jump on at some point tomorrow. So we got a jam-packed tomorrow night. Coach Kramer, if you want to come back for some more reaction to what transpired, please. I'm giving you the welcome mat now, but if the significant other says no, it's perfectly fine. And Cars will probably be right on time for that show.
I will be a scary daughter dance.
That's right.
Awesome. Enjoy, brother.
Cars is skipping the draft for a daddy-daughter dance.
That's important. That's
like
important.
A real man.
Cars is better dealing with us again. I can't make it myself, but thanks for the invite because I'm actually heading back, and my son's got a baseball game tomorrow night. A couple of them. So I won't be able to make it.
See, both of them.
Appreciate the honor.
TTNL is family, and the fathers are stepping up for their kids. Me, I tell my kid, don't worry, just play that video game while I watch the draft. I'm kidding.
Cut
My
that,
wife has
cut
it
that
all
tiger
covered.
knife when you're in the cage with him.
Yeah, we'll edit
that. Listen, we are live here covering the first round of the draft, getting down to the final two picks of the draft. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock. Ryan Poles comes from the Chiefs.
Take over the North and never give it back.
This is going to set the tone right there. Take over the North and never give it back. I'm there. My guy's there that I really want. So let's go around. Obviously, we started with Cars. Cars, did you get to finish?
Logan Hall is the guy. I think the way the draft is moving, that's the guy I'd want most there.
Is that the guy you want, or the one you think the Bear? Just for clarity.
No, that's the one I want. He makes the most amount of sense, and his value at that point is going to be higher than any of the wideouts.
Real quick, Phil, the Kansas City Chiefs draft pick is in.
Good boy.
And it is your boy, George.
Oh, my God. I was
Kansas
just going to
City
say.
I was going to ask about
Bears,
him.
I swear to God, I was just going to say, if I'm the Bears, I'm going to take Karlaftis and put him at the 3 technique and tell him, go to fucking war and get up the field. And then these
That's going to be a bit of a problem now, Phil. But anyways, go ahead with what you're.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm keeping it 100. I'm way behind. Mine says the Patriots pick is in. So I didn't
Where do you
see
think Ojabio lands?
Who's that?
David
Ajabo?
Ojabio?
Ajabo from Michigan.
Ajabo. Hey.
Well, this is the thing, man.
Get Ajabo.
There's
my guy. Oh my God. That was going to be my pick for 39.
There's scouts and people in the NFL draft community that like Ojabo over top of Hutchinson, believe it or not, pre-injury in terms of explosiveness and traits that they're looking at. But it all depends. I mean, this isn't an ACL. Erik talked about it earlier. The ACLs are just not what they used to be. But Achilles, that's a different beast. I mean, that's literally you're pushing off of that every single second. Just you're getting up out of a chair, and it's a factor. So the medicals are going to play into it. If your medical team is, if they clear it and they feel safe about it, you're getting a top 15 talent as a pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that you have to weigh. And this is
They
another
did
thing
that with
this is
Ogunjobi.
This
They
is
had
another
to-
thing that you have to look at. The Bears, as much as Bears fans don't want to hear it, aren't going to be contending for a Super Bowl this year. And if they say, hey, if this kid's healthy, he would have been drafted in the top 15. He fell into our lap, and our doctors are saying, we're clearing this kid. You give him a red shirt. 2023 is the year that they want to start to, knock on that door to, make a little bit of noise. I don't think it's out of the question is essentially what I'm trying to say. But I don't have access to medicals. He's he's a fantastic pass rusher.
All right.
So do you think he goes second or third round?
I don't think he's making it to the third round.
I don't think he makes it to the third. So
if
would you use a pick on him, Shane?
In the third round, I would.
No, he's saying, would you take him in the with one of the seconds?
Based on talent, you have to.
Yeah,
but I don't have access to the medicals.
That's
are
where
tell
this
the tape.
this game. Every GM says this, and I'll say it again. I've said it. We're gonna go with the best player available, and the little like the freaking car thing. At the position of
Bullets
need.
is breaking some news. Cole Strange went to the Patriots. Thanks, Bullets.
Thank you for showing up and Quiddy paying it. No, I love Bullets.
But it's fun. What's funny about that all is like sometimes we just have such strong opinions because everybody who publishes their scouting reports is telling us where these guys are supposed to go.
Exactly.
But
that's
like,
why we do it different.
Yeah, because like Cole Strange for us, a lot of the other folks are like, weird pick. That's a reach. He's a third round person. I don't think then the Patriots were going to be the only team that would have him ranked at that level.
That goes back to Karlaftis, however it's George, the pizza guy. I can't do it.
Yeah, but you see the problem.
Shea says he ain't going in the first round. The tape says he's a first round talent, and that just showed you how the Kansas City Chiefs see him.
Well,
Go ahead, Sean.
The problem that people don't realize is, and this is what smart teams do, is regardless of smart teams, what they'll do is they'll draft people for their system. They won't just draft a guy because he's 6'5", runs a 4.4 with a 40-inch vert. If he's not the type of, if this is not the type of person they want for their 3 technique or their style of line blocking, offensive line blocking, or the type of running back, then they're not going to get him. He could be the best running back or the top-rated running back in everybody's draft. Okay, everyone's bored. But if he doesn't fit that system, smart teams or good front offices aren't going to draft them. And that's what I love about Poles and what he's done to this point with the Bears. He's gotten guys that are going to fit the defensive system and the offensive system that they've got. Not big names, not huge, big money contracts, but he's got guys who are going to fit their systems. And that's what the Patriots do. How many Wes Welkers, Amendolas, and same dude, different name. You see what I mean? So, this is what good teams do. Really good teams.
Bengals pick is in.
That's a great point.
Yes, it
Bengals
really
pick
is.
is in, and it's safety Daxton Hill.
Wow.
From the
Daxton
University of Michigan.
Go blue, Cherie. Go blue.
Nice.
Go blue. Cherie
Nice.
must be excited.
If the Packers,
go ahead, Eric.
Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I was going to say to back up that point about drafting somebody for your system. One of the obviously they never met the man, but Bill Walsh I think is one of the greatest football minds ever, and he was talking about when he was the general manager of the 49ers and the head coach. He comes into the draft room one day and says, "Hey," or their personnel. He says, "Who here has heard of Charles Haley?" No one puts up a hand. He says, "We'll get to know him because we're drafting him." And they drafted him in the 4th round out of James Madison. And obviously he turned into one of the greatest defensive players ever. Yeah, he's fairly good. and basically invented the position of, start out as a hybrid outside linebacker.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think you're right. I think the really great football minds, they draft because, You might not think he's great, but he's great for what we do.
Yeah.
Well, I think it goes back to Carr's point, and this is something I hate. And I'm the opposite of a lot of people. I grew up and understood how amazing Mel Kiper was because he tapped into something that I loved. And I didn't love it because of Mel. I loved it because of football and the Bears and how they build a franchise. I found that interesting because my dad was a head coach and Mel Kiper sitting there touting names off the top of his head. And I was like a young kid, like, wow. And you got to respect that. But to Carr's point, it became a cultural thing now because Daniel Jeremiah says this guy's a reach. All of a sudden, he becomes a reach because this person says David Montgomery's slow. All of a sudden, he's slow and he's not good. But when we look at the tape and you start understanding what you're seeing and you see it from the proper angles, all of these points that Sean Sierra of Sean and Maya in the morning and Erik Kramer of TTNL Network and everybody here tonight on the network is saying this is about finding football players. And I think Ryan Pace went out there to find athletes to fit something they never could fit because they never had an identity or an understanding of who they were. Here, Eberflus does. So that to me makes Carr's point. Is this 3 technique their big make sure? Because if you look what they did, Larry Ogunjobi, and then they had to pull back because of an injury, and that's not the GM's fault. That's actually great strength with egg on your face for the crowd and the Twitter beat crew, the frat boys, all beating up on the GM, but he did the right thing for the fans by waiting on that. Now, I believe you are on to something again, Cars, that the Logan Hall, as Shane said as well, Brenton Buckner, his Buckner, that's what you Bears fans.
Not Brenton. We wouldn't draft him. Yeah,
yes,
DeForest.
DeForest. I meant DeForest. I'm the worst with names. You'll get geography and names. I'm getting better at math because I've discovered that my iPhone has a calculator and I'm good now.
Welcome.
I'm
Just discovered that?
I'm paying a lot of bills in this move. Let's go to you, Sean Sierra. We're getting close to the end. Who do you got for tomorrow night at 39?
Man, it's going to be tough with, what if we have Pierce? Well, I mean, Watson will be there, or Pickens, because he hasn't been taken off the board yet either. Man, now that's a dilemma.
Trio there.
That's a dilemma, dude.
To me, if you're
very easy,
I'm
for me.
taking Pierce over all out of those 3. I'm going Pierce.
Yeah.
Give me the fucking names.
We're giving them. Calm down, Shane. Yelling at yourself. You did it.
Yeah, you know what? I guess I would have to. I'd have to stay with Christian Watson, dude. I like
there
that
you
kid.
go.
I do. And if he's taken, okay, good, and then we'll get Pierce.
Let me ask you guys this. It's all about putting points on the board. What if, let's just say, 39, the Bears draft Alec Pierce, and then you come around to 48, and Christian Watson and George Pickens are still on the board? Would you be willing to double up at that position?
Hell yeah! Oh fuck yeah! Oh god yeah! Oh god yeah!
Kramer.
Oh god yeah!
I know. I knew what his answer was going to be.
AB.
Eric's like, wide receivers, gross. No way.
6'4", 6'5", and what's Darnell Mooney? 6'2". All right.
Erik Kramer looks like Arthur Fonzarelli. Like, he just kept taking I'm taking 2 receivers. That was the best. Oh my god. Here the Vikings are on the clock, or there's the pick in. The Bengals selected who? Who did
the Vikings just took
double safeties.
Yep. Yes.
Oh my god.
Not a bad pick.
I'm so far behind on mine.
That's interesting because that's got to tell you that
Steen is a tough.
I believe you took him in our And
Yes.
I'm back and forth.
I'm a big fan of Seen and not her.
Who just went?
The
Seen
safety
from
from Georgia.
The safety from Georgia.
Yeah.
This kid,
He can
his
ball.
story is amazing, but also the football player. I mean, he fills an alley. We'll just say that.
That's what I'm saying. Like safeties can make a big difference, man. You think back to Ronnie Lott and Atwater and some of these Kenny Easley and some of these guys that will they'll change the game in one play.
Absolutely.
And they have a way of making everybody play up to what they said.
We had a guy like that. We had a guy like that a couple of years ago. I wonder what happened to him.
He got paid.
Oh, that's what happened. He got paid and then decided not to show up.
I think a little bit.
This guy's gonna be with
first
Harrison
round.
Smith. That's a deadly duo back there.
That's a nice combo. Yep.
Yeah, that is a nice combo.
Phil, this is important. This is Brian Cox just shared this from friend of the network, Zach Pearson, wide receiver still left on the board. Christian Watson, George Pickens, John Mechie coming off an ACL. Sky Moore is an interesting name that I know the Bears have been connected to. He's got those big Marty Booker hands. Alec Pierce, Calvin Austin, underrated guy. David Bell from Purdue. Jalen Tolbert, Cars is a big fan. Khalil Shakir, who we broke down with Matt Waldman. Danny Gray and Wandell Robinson. I wouldn't be interested in Wandell at 39 or 48 myself, but still a lot of guys out there that fit. I mean, the Bears, you get back, Pringle making some strange decisions. I don't think it's worthy of, I don't think they're going to cut him or anything like that, but he doesn't exactly have a great past with being smart off of the field. It's quite extensive with some things there. Darnell Mooney, David Moore. To Sean's point, double up at wide receiver. I think it's got to be in play.
But and you got to look at how the picks are going to go before, right? So as of now, it goes Tampa, Minnesota, Tennessee, the Giants, the Texans, and the Jets. And most likely in that list, maybe you'll see a wide receiver go to the Texans, but probably for the most part, that's not going to be a position in play for the other teams that are drafting in front of us as well. So there's going to be some flexibility in that list. I would say probably Pickens won't be available, but the rest of that list will completely be
you got
any of those three
6
great,
off
dude.
the board, right? 6 receivers off the board.
At one point, Phil, it was 6 out of 16. When we were at pick 16, that had just been, there was 6 off the board. So we've went quite a ways here now with without another one coming off the board. So
as deep as this draft is, I would have a hard time not getting Alec Pierce at 39 because I believe he's that missing puzzle piece to what it is you do philosophically, and Jordy Nelson over there. Get that guy down the field, high pointing ball, making big plays for Justin Fields, that big catch rate, 40.5-inch vert at 6'3". He's from Illinois. He's in your backyard. How many fucking times have you missed on these guys that grow up in this city? Now, he is a Packer fan. That would change that curse for me. I don't give a shit. Draft some fans like, are you worried or concerned that he's a Packer? I go, no. He grew up and they beat the shit out of the Bears enough that I get it. Kids, gravitate to winning.
Lions fan, I'd be concerned, right?
Exactly. If he was a Lions fan, look at the grin. Cars.
So Stacey Dales from the NFL Network back on April 20th had a report on NFL Network talking about the Chicago Bears and connecting wide receivers, and she gave 3 names. First one, George Pickens. Second one, Christian Watson. Third one, Alec Pierce. All 3 still available.
Yeah, we're gonna get one of them. Maybe 2 of them.
Here we go. If
we
we get
one of
2
them, maybe
of them,
2.
Erik Kramer will have to
He's coming out of retirement.
He's
coming out of he might come out of retirement, baby.
Maybe they'll let me play catch with a couple of them.
Hey, bye, Trevor Simeon.
Hey, yeah. Listen, smash the like button. We haven't told you that all night. We're doing this with you, the fans. This is a family. We're so excited to have Coach Erik Kramer, other known as Cavs, as he's with us here on the network now, the TTNL Network. And that's the last pick, right? Minnesota's pick.
Yep.
Tampa.
Oh, what am I doing? No,
right. Tampa's at 33. No, Tampa's at 33 tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so this is it. We've completed the first round. Do me a favor as we complete this, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel here, and get those numbers going up. Also, check out my guy Sean Sierra and Sean and Maya. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they break down all Chicago sports. Every Friday, I'm on their show. Tomorrow, I have to be condensed because I got no food in my house. I got to hustle to my lunch break, get something to eat, and bring it back to come on Sean's show tomorrow to talk about what's going to happen tomorrow night. We'll be live. I'm sorry, Shane, you wanted to say something before I promote tomorrow?
Yeah, it was just Erik was talking about the importance of safety in it on the player that you like and seen, and they're reporting that Minnesota turned down a handful of offers for pick 32. Probably somebody potentially looking at a quarterback would be my guess to grab that extra year for the 5th-year option. But that just shows how much that they are in on that player. So
I'll say this: I liked him a lot better than Cherie's boy and at Michigan. This kid is he's a heavy dose exploder in that alley, and that David Montgomery is going to be dishing it out with him, and that's what you need. But anyway, tomorrow night, David Kaplan, Matt Waldman, Adam Rank, and Kenneth Davis will be on with us. We'll be back here again with AB, our new producer here at TTNL. So excited about you and my boy Chris Jackal. They're competing. Who's the better producer this week?
I don't know about all that, but let's,
what do you think
the
about
paid talent? I do this for free.
What do you think about your first night there, AB? Your first night with us. Talk about it.
Off of mute.
Oh, this is Claudio the barber.
Where is he?
The barber. There.
Where's the barber?
I don't give a fuck either. I'm out.
Where'd he go?
Poor guy got almost got the whole
that easily. Shane, what you do to him?
Yes, we'll be back tomorrow night. Have a lot of laughs, and the nerves will be on edge. Tonight was more relaxed. We had Chris Zorich. I want to thank him for coming on the show with us, a part of our network, as well as our guy, the coach, Erik Kramer. Kramer's QB School will be live here. Erik, thank you so much. You probably got to bounce now. And we can't thank you enough. Really appreciate Cars. Do you want to say anything? Because you won't see him again tomorrow. Is there anything you want to say? No.
I'm not putting enough at this moment.
Communicating telepathically.
They have a connection. I will say this, Cars. Erik and I talked earlier today, and he was so complimentary to you. So take that.
Well, thank you.
Let's have some positive as we end this show. Thank you, Coach. We're super excited. I keep saying that.
Me too.
Excited. I
Me
gotta
too.
get rid of that. And
I gotta say, let me jump in and say one thing.
Say your last.
As great as Sean is, Maya, that woman knows her stuff, man. I'm telling you.
You know what, Erik? I'd argue if I could.
Right? Am I wrong? I mean,
no,
she can bring it.
There you go. Look,
Hey,
getting a shout out there.
And make sure you follow us tomorrow on Sports Zone Chicago. Sean and Maya in the morning, 9 a.m. to noon Central Time. So for all you East Coast, make sure it's Central Time. It's 9 a.m. to noon Central Time. And Phil's going to try and get on toward the end of the show if he can get back if there's not enough traffic.
I'll
so
be
there. Cool, man.
What's that?
Is there traffic in Connecticut, or is it just
if he pulls that shit on you, Sean, let me know, because I can tell if he's telling you the truth or not.
You have
I got you, Jack.
No clue on Connecticut traffic. It's the East Coast, bro. It's the East Coast. Everyone's in a rush, right, Chris?
Hurry up and
Everybody's
wait.
in a rush.
Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. Exactly. All right, Erik, thank you so much, guys.
All right.
I appreciate you. Follow him on Twitter as well.
Hey,
Let
fellas.
him know you saw him. Have a great night.
Have a great night, Erik.
Thanks, man.
Eric,
Jay,
Jalen
you
Watson
guys too.
for you too,
Bye-bye.
right before you leave. Jalen Watson is your guy tomorrow night, right?
Jalen, or hey, if somehow Pickens falls, Pickens falls.
There you
We'll
go.
take him too.
Christian
Watson.
Jalen
Why do I
Watson's
say
like a
sixth?
6th round corner, bro. Or he'll
He's
go
not
higher.
sixth. He's gonna go fifth or fourth. Anyway, thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
All
Cool
right.
Kennedy.
Appreciate you guys.
Take
Have
care.
a great night.
Oh,
Okay.
Enjoy Vegas. It must be rough.
It's terrible.
Cool Kennedy, you are on the clock as we wrap up tonight. Our fifth day, but the first night of the draft.
You know, I'm all about the feel. I like the craps table. I got to feel it out first before I make my decision. And what I've seen so far is I got to look at what's going on in my division. I see Packers load up on defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Logan Bruss. I take an inside out offensive lineman. I think I need help there. We obviously need receivers. Not too many receivers have left for that first second pick. We have 2 second-round picks. The first second, I think I go inside offensive line. I'd take Logan Bruss. That's a big boy, and he's from O-line U, and I respect that. Yeah, I go O-line.
Going O-line.
Yeah, I have to react to my environment. You know what I mean?
I do. Do you have a name? Did you say your name? It broke up in my ear.
Logan Bruss.
Okay.
Yeah. Wisconsin.
Kid loves Logan Bruss out of Wisconsin.
Bruss. B-R-U-S-S.
Phil's hungry right now. He said he's got no food in the house.
He's got brunch. He's like,
I was thinking of brunch.
Yeah.
Listen, you're taking an offensive lineman from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's where they grow. That's your guy.
Yeah, and I look what the Patriots did. They said all the gloves are off, man. They have a quarterback. We have a quarterback. We need offensive line help. That's what I'm doing.
All right. Chris Jackal, do you have a horse in this race?
I picked Watson. If he's there, we take him. I'm okay with consolation prizes like Mr. Pierce or shit. I wouldn't mind. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but the edge from Michigan, Ojebayo.
Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
Can we just have a show where it's just Phil and Jackal reading crazy last names?
Dude,
that would be a great show.
You should. Never mind. I'm gonna keep my
There you go. AB, you got a pick for tomorrow?
I mean, for 39, you got to look at Alec Pierce there. I mean, the kid, and this is a stat I was kind of looking up earlier. I know stats are for nerds, I know, but
I'm on the show. It's okay. We haven't met yet, Alan, but when you do,
a 117 QBR for every quarterback that threw to him in his time at college. That's insane to me. So, I mean, the guy's got great inside-out lineup anywhere on the field. He can do it all. Got to be that guy there.
I like it. I
Not
like
upset
it.
at it at all.
And when you meet him, Alan, don't forget, just FYI, Cars is like fucking 6'12", dude.
Yeah. 6'14".
6'12".
He really is.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, you don't look that tall, dude. What the fuck?
You look directly into his nostrils.
I'm still shocked with Logan Bruss. My God, that's a shame. I'm shocked by Logan Bruss.
I would rather draft Ajabo's snapped Achilles at 39. But that's fine.
Someone got deep on that one.
You don't have a strong.
I stand on it, man.
I was not expecting
I love,
that.
I love the conviction. Yeah,
That's conviction. I'm like Logan Bruss in the second.
You better not go in the fifth round.
The second, I'm taking a receiver because they're left on the board. You know, I'm reacting to my environment. I feel like they're going to be there. We're going to have the options.
Yeah, I think.
Listen,
I
I'm
think
never
all
going to not follow where Logan Bruss goes out of Wisconsin.
Obviously,
you got to follow him now.
The top three wideouts that we talked
Exactly.
about, guys, are going to be 100% be in play. But I think Bears fans still have to come around. I think Roger McCreary is going to be in play tomorrow for the Bears.
What about Jaquan Brisker?
What about Booth?
Yep, Brisker.
Yeah,
Cam Medicals with Booth is why he's moving down.
Yeah,
but
Cam Jurgens will be in play, I think.
Yep, Cam Jurgens is the
no.
name that's been connected to the Bears. A lot of people have him later. Like I said, Tony Pauline he knows his shit.
Totally Pauline.
He also has
shit like
he
the
has
last time he was wrong.
He has connected him to the Giants also, but Roger McCreary, Logan Hall is going to be a ultimate. Eberflus is going to be jumping up and down on the table for a guy like Logan Hall. I'm telling you right now.
He's there. He's clearly the best.
He's getting his DeForest Buckner that's going to give you options on that defensive line. It's going to make Roquan better. It's going to make Morrow better. It's going to make Eddie Jackson better. It's an ultimate chess piece.
No-brainer, Shane.
We have the tie-breaking vote from earlier from friend of the network. Big Steve Edwards has spoken.
Message me too. I forgot to mention that.
We have to take Pierce. We have to take Pierce.
Yeah.
Big Steve going.
He also said
again.
that he thinks that there's going to be a big run on offensive linemen tomorrow too, as well. That's what he messaged me earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna skip over Winfrey there.
Right.
I think there's something to be said about or Hall, as Carr said. Those two guys are going to be in play at 39.
I think they have more guys on the roster that are similar to Winfrey. They don't have a guy like Logan Hall anywhere on their defensive line.
No, they don't. With that kind of height, and they had it in fucking my guy.
Lucas,
that dude is
Ryan.
This ain't no Jerron Gilbert jumping out of a fucking pool.
Yeah,
I mean similar sizes, but this dude is explosive.
I do. No, Hoffman is. I would see him in the third as that kind of bully. This right here, Winfrey, I'm saying is a freak at 3 tech, and that's where where they might go. They might go 3 tech, but.
What about Njobu? Let's talk about him being signed at a much cheaper, shorter and much cheaper contract.
Oh, Ogunjobi?
Ogunjobi. What did I say?
Yeah, we had
Ogunjobi.
I was on vacation, but Phil interviewed Dan Weeder. According to Dan Weeder, those bridges haven't only been burned, they've been nuked with his representatives. I don't know if there's truth to that, but I mean, you can understand the logistics of having a $40 million deal and you're at the facility sitting in a limo getting ready to get out of the car, and then here comes the general manager and gets in the car with you and sits with you for 45 minutes and says, yeah, this isn't going through, big dog. So you can see, but I mean, it's something that I would explore 100%. I always go.
Can you see a trade back
with the Bears? I think it's 100%.
39.
It's 100% play. It's going to depend on their board, Phil. Like anything, it's
Cars traded back last night.
Yeah, I would say the 39 because of the way the board has fallen now becomes the more likely of the two to get traded as opposed to the second. If it had been
that's huge information as we begin
to run of offensive linemen early.
Yeah, I think you could see guys wanting like a few of the corners left, or someone getting up or one of the quarterbacks. You know, you still probably got Coral and Willis to go early tomorrow in some way as well. So I think that one makes a lot more sense, and they could probably get better value at that point, especially if it's for a quarterback.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting. Steve Edwards, add him to the guest list tomorrow night, Shane. He's going to jump on as well. He's all excited, shouting out everybody on the panel. Shout out to you, Sean, from Steve and AB, Cool Kennedy, his boy Cars. He's like, he's as tall as me. It's true. There is a picture of me, Steve, and Cars. Exactly. How is there only 114 likes? What is going on?
Smash the like button. Smash the like button right now.
Smash the like button right now. One favor. One favor. We've been on the air for 5 days in a row. Last night we were on for 4 hours. Tonight, 3 hours and about 50 minutes right now. I'm about to wrap it up. Say that again.
We'll get our second win tomorrow, bro.
Definitely going to be amped
hype.
up.
Tomorrow we hype.
312 likes. He needed to refresh. Is that Coach Jackal? Now it's up to 325. Where's Claudio? We gotta
smoke weed every day.
Oh, there he is.
The auction year from Kenny.
7 o'clock. Can I get it? 320.
Get the auction underway on the first cow here. Who's got 55? 55.
Get those likes up, as Claudio is telling you. Tomorrow night we'll be live again. I really want to thank all of you guys for taking the time out, jumping on with us, doing just tremendous stuff. We didn't even have a pick, and I had a blast. I want to thank Erik Kramer and really appreciate him joining the show and the network with us, as well as Chris Zorich, who texted me, bro, I had a blast. That was so much fun. Thank you for taking my mind off this chaos that is moving. Yes, I'm totally there with Chris. It's crazy. But Sean Sierra, Sean and Maya tomorrow, 9 to 12. Check him out. Follow them on YouTube. The Sports Zone Chicago. My guys over there right behind him. You see it right
and
there
you
behind him.
TTNL patrons, maybe you will get a little surprise. I'm off, and maybe we'll do a little best available.
Mock best available or something?
Yeah.
Good.
I'll be home, and maybe we'll knock something out.
Maybe Cars can jump on. Is he home?
I don't know.
No, I don't. Where? No, I could probably.
There you go. So you might get his little patron show to tapeneverlies.com. As we sign off here, become a patron. We love you guys. AB, Chris Jackal, Cool Kennedy, just 3 of our producers right there. 1 music, 2 shows. That's what you get. It's not as good as 2 girls in a cup, but we love you guys anyway. We'll see you tomorrow night for the actual draft for everybody, including my guy, my buddy, the smartest man. I'm your guy, Draft Dr. Phil. This has been another presentation of the Tape Never Lies Network. You guys have an amazing night.
What's up, everybody? This is NFL Network's Adam Ray.
This is Olin Cruz.
This is Matt Waldman.
This is Chris Zorich from your Chicago Bears.
I'm Deion Miller.
Dan Weaver.
Hey, my name is Rashad Whitfield.
I'm Courtney Cronin.
Hey, this is David Kaplan. Listen to me. You want to learn football? Listen to my guys, Phil and Shane.
Shane and Phil. Shane and Phil. Oh, Phil.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network. Home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans.